companies that I work with to sort of put together a rescue effort for this tree, and we're going to be doing 2 different phases of work to it. We're going to do a pruning aspect here coming up this Thursday, and just deadwood pruning, get it back to a safe condition.
And then?
And then a plant health care day later in April.
Cool. Well, if people want to see it, you got like 10 seconds.
If you need more information, russellhodge.com. I'll have some information posted there very quickly. And then if it's not up when you get there, I can email it to you as soon as I get it out.
Okay, Russell Hodge, Hodge. Thanks a lot, Russell. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. That's all we got. Let's talk gardening. Cubs baseball's next on WGN.
Okay. Tell him I'm ready. You done? Brian, let's do a mic check here.
Hello.
Please turn the radio station down. Thank you. Hi, guys. Testing 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. A little louder, please. A little bit louder, little higher. Just a little bit higher, Ryan. A little higher. That's he's slightly delayed. He'll be here a little later on. He's on his way back. Hi. Sure. How you doing?
Ronnie coming up?
Yeah, he's coming. We're going on the air here in just a second here. All right. Testing 1, 2. Ryan, turn that down just a little bit. Just a hair. Just a hair. Yeah, Ronnie, does Jim know what happened? Yeah, he's on his way back. I don't think we make a big deal of it. How's the pretzel? Hitting the spot? Yeah, I need to be able to hear him. That's fine. Just leave it right there. There he is. How you doing? I'm sorry. Listen, Emilo's going on right now. I'll take care of it. No, relax.
You want to take care
I'll take the first answer. Just sit down and relax, and then you jump right in.
Good.
I'm sorry you had to go through that. Are you ready? Are you ready to go on?
Yeah.
Tell him Ron's ready.
Yeah, test. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
And welcome to Cubs Central pregame. Jim Memolo with you this afternoon. The Cubs taking on the San Diego Padres in Peoria, Arizona. The final Sunday of spring training in Arizona for the Cubs. Hard to believe. And one more week in Mesa, then next weekend in Vegas, and then the real deal a week from tomorrow at Wrigley Field against the Milwaukee Brewers. Cubs coming off a comeback 8-8 tie against the White Sox in Mesa yesterday. The Cubs down 4-0 in the fourth inning of that game, then 5-4, and finally in the 10th inning down 8-5, battle back to wind up tying the game at 8-8. Ted Lilly went 6 innings, gave up 4 runs yesterday, and maybe the best sign of the day, Kerry Wood back after a couple of days off and pitches a 1-2-3 inning. Today we have Jason Marquis getting the start for the Cubs. And Greg Maddux, the former Cub, will be going for the San Diego Padres. Let's take a look at today's ball game. First look at the ball game, sponsored by Jiffy Lube and Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. And joining us right now from the ballpark, Ron Santo. Ron, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, Jim. I was a little late today. Had a little problem, but I'm here. Beautiful day, and can't wait for the game to start.
Yeah. Actually, almost a beautiful day here, too, so hopefully...
oh, you're kidding.
Yeah, well, 40 and sunny. We'll take it.
Well,
here.
hey, absolutely. Anytime that sun comes out, that's what it's all about.
Well, you know, we can almost only hope for that weather next week
Yes.
when the Brewers come to town. So, Jason Marquis getting the start today. First, though, before we talk about Jason Marquis, Ronnie, how about that game yesterday? Nice comeback by the Cubs. Interesting game.
Very interesting game, and... yeah, I thought it was going to end up again with the Cubs only with 4 runs because really I thought it was a well-pitched ball game, and we came back, which was real big, and then tied it up, and it went 10 innings. I just, you know, it's good to see some of the big names start to swing that bat pretty well, and this is about the time they should.
And like I said, one of the best things I took out of yesterday's game is Kerry Wood was off a couple of days. You know, you always worry about Kerry's health. He comes back and pitches a pretty easy 1-2-3 inning. Good sign for Kerry and the Cubs.
Well, you know what's amazing, and I noticed it this spring, especially early, the confidence that he has after last year and feeling very healthy, that arm he's throwing. He threw the ball by 2 of the hitters' fastballs, the first 2 hitters he struck out, and then the other one popped up. But he's just, you know, he's the Kerry Wood that we used to see when he was younger. You know, he just looks at home plate, and you just know he's saying, I'm going to get you out. And he just had a muscle spasm, what it was.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything else, and you could see how well he was throwing. And I think he's going to be throwing today again. Okay,
it would be great to see and make Lou Piniella's decision on the closer that much easier.
Right.
Maybe not an easy decision is who rounds out that rotation. Jason Marquis going today, and Marquis making it tough. A 1.93 ERA. He's given up just 3 earned runs in 14 innings so far this spring.
Yeah, he really is. Ever since his first outing, and then he had that little incident with the media, and he has really settled in. Lou Piniella said, look it, you know, you got to earn the job, and so far he has done that. Lieber's been outstanding also, but Marquis really has pitched well. He's not really had a bad outing at all.
Well, let's face it, with all the talk, Ron, Jason Marquis is trying to earn himself a spot in somebody's rotation, whether it be the Cubs or somebody else, and right now, it'd be pretty tough to part with him the way he's looking so far.
Well, that's exactly right. I mean, you know, they and he's a guy, you know, if he has a good spring, and you know, today, Jim, as you know it, when you're making $8 million a year, you know, you got to go with the $8 million guy.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, spend your money wisely.
That's it.
Speaking of Jason Marquis and trade talk and everything else. Interesting lineup today, Ron, for the Cubs. I know Lou Piniella had said in the paper he'd like to get Mark DeRosa some work, some more at-bats. He's only hitting .207. DeRosa's not in the lineup today. Eric Patterson is in the lineup leading off. Micah Hoffpower is also in the lineup, along with Jason Marquis. And I just wonder if some of these guys are in there today to be showcased a little bit.
Yeah, that could be. Usually at this time, as like I said, he had mentioned he's going to be playing most of the starters. But this might be. I have not talked to him today because I was late getting to the ballpark. And yesterday, Patterson came in for DeRosa, and I felt that maybe there was something wrong with DeRosa, but I haven't heard anything. So he just, you know, he's going to be cutting down. I would say this week he'll get down to the 25-man roster by Vegas.
Yeah, and one of the guys who's making it tough to get down to the 25 is Hoffpower. I mean, there's really not a spot for him on the roster right now, but he's hitting over 400 for the spring. And this last 2 springs, he seems to just impress, and just not a spot for him right now.
I'm really very impressed. And you look at his minor league career is very good. He was a 300 hitter last year, 16 home runs. I think he had about 70 or 80 RBIs, and he's a first baseman. But they're going to probably send him to AAA. I know Lou likes him a lot, and see if he could play the outfield, because his bat is very, very good.
It'll be interesting to see what the lineup does against Greg Maddux today. And that, we know what Greg throws. Obviously, it's just I wonder what he throws in the last days of spring training.
Yeah, well, every time Greg goes out there, last time we faced him, he looked good. He got a line drive. I think Lee hit a line drive off his foot, and he left the game, but he only left because he said it's spring training. Knowing Maddux, I mean, the man just is going on forever. It's amazing. He's such a good athlete. He made an outstanding play. He's won, I think 15 or 16 Gold Gloves. Yeah,
he's a marvel to watch, and love to see him around for as long as he wants to be around, because he gets it done as efficiently as anybody. Ron, we'll let you get ready for the ball game. Always a pleasure talking.
My pleasure, Jim. Take care.
Take care. Ron Santo down at the ballpark. When we come back, won't hear from Lou Piniella, but we'll bring you some Major League Baseball news, and the name Micah Hoffpauir might be involved in that, too. Some other names to discuss around Major League Baseball also coming up. Corey Probus had a conversation with John Lieber, and we'll finish it up a little bit later on with a look at the scoreboard, spring training baseball, the NCAA tournament, and the golf leaderboard at the World Golf Championship at Doral, and some other sports news of the day. All coming up on Cubs Central pregame on the Chicago Cubs Radio Network.
Randy Ecclestead. Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate it. Have a great year.
Are you Corey Probus? No. I just wanted to know. I know who you are. I asked him if he was Corey Probus. I just wondered what Corey looked like. My son listens to you guys every broadcast. You're great. That's what my son said. That today would be his first day down here, and he got you yesterday. Yeah. You have your own ball. Everyone has their own ball. He wants to be a broadcaster. Thank you. He signed on his ball. Thank you. And then I got a book there, sir.
Cubs Central Lou Piniella Show on News Talk 720 WGN, sponsored by your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevy dealers. Welcome back to Cubs Central pregame. Unfortunately, Ron didn't get a chance to talk to Lou Piniella before the game, so we'll take this opportunity to pass along some news in Major League Baseball to you. And we'll start with the Cubs, and just had the conversation with Ron about, interestingly enough, Micah Hoffpauir in the lineup, along with Eric Patterson and Jason Marquis, after Lou had said that he was pretty much going to play the regulars after this. And you wonder, as impressive as Hoffpauir has been in spring training, hitting over 400, if he's being showcased. In fact, there are published reports suggesting that the Cubs and Orioles are still talking about Brian Roberts, the second baseman for Baltimore right now. Hoffpauir is one of the names mentioned in those rumors. Kind of interesting also at the Cubs, or at least the talk of the Cubs talking about Brian Roberts has kind of shifted from a lot of young pitching maybe being traded to guys like Micah Hoffpauir or maybe an Eric Patterson, who, interestingly enough, is also in the lineup today, a day after Lou Piniella had been quoted as saying he wanted to get Mark DeRosa some more at-bats. So you wonder, again, as I suggested to Ron, that if some of these guys aren't being showcased a little bit today, and of course Jason Marquis, he's going to wind up in somebody's rotation the way he's pitching, depending on what happens today. Elsewhere, Major League Baseball Atlanta Braves starter John Smoltz is having shoulder problems. He says he could be ready to go later on this week, so it's not that big a problem, but could also just as easily start the season on the disabled list as a precaution for the Braves. So watch out for that. Braves may start the season with John Smoltz on the DL. Same for Yankee starter Andy Pettitte. He sat out yesterday with back spasms and, according to the reports, woke up today feeling no better. And he may begin the regular season for the Yankees on the disabled list. Finally, Tigers leadoff hitter Curtis Granderson broke his finger yesterday. He's on the DL, and he is definitely going to start the season on the disabled list and may miss a couple of weeks. Granderson broke his ring finger in yesterday's rained-out game against the Phillies. That was one of the few Florida games, one of the few Grapefruit League games that actually got underway, and turns out the Tigers would have been much better off if they never started that game because Granderson winds up breaking his finger. That rain apparently didn't come soon enough for the Tigers. We'll update you on the Grapefruit League scoreboard and what's going on in the Cactus League this afternoon later on in Cubs Central pregame. Coming up next, a conversation between Corey Provis and Cubs pitcher John Lieber on the Cubs Radio Network.
Thank you. Thanks, Ron. Good luck. Yes. Oh, okay. Didn't I have a paper too? Yeah. Thanks a lot.
Good afternoon, baseball fans, and welcome to the Peoria Sports Complex at Cactus League Baseball this afternoon. San Diego Padres. Hi, guys.
How you feeling, Ryan? Good. It's everyone you feel comfortable with.
First of all, fans, we'd like to review your location here, the ballpark, and take over the shooting reception.
Thanks, sir. Have a good year, guys.
Cubs Central pregame on News Talk 720 WGN is sponsored by National City Bank and Binny's Beverage Depot.
And welcome back to Cubs Central pregame. I'm Corey Provis. You don't have to look all that far to find the Cubs' last 20-game winner. Back in 2001, John Lieber finished fourth in the National League Cy Young voting after a brilliant 20-6 season. Lieber spent the last 3 years with the Phillies, but was limited to only 12 starts last year because of an injured foot. But Lieber is now healthy and couldn't be happier to be back in Chicago.
I didn't know what the chances were, because I knew this team was fairly stacked with pitching and everything else. But, it's getting towards the end of my career, and I've always had that desire to come back here and pitch with these guys and finish up my career here, hopefully. So, it just happened to work out, and I'm going to try to make the most of it.
Kind of elaborate on that point. You just mentioned the word desire to come back. Specifically, why?
Well, I didn't like the way, things happened my last time here, with the injury and, just the timing was just, wasn't good, being a free agent. And, I guess the key thing is here, there was no bridges really burnt. Jim and I, we talked, and, I understood, what he was only allowed to do, I think he understood where I was coming from, trying to get a 2-year deal. And so it just didn't happen. And we've always kept in contact over the years, and it just happened to work out right now.
How about the success that you've had in your career at Wrigley Field? Did that play into it as well a bit?
I really don't know. That I'm sure Jim, probably looked at that, but I've always felt comfortable pitching at Wrigley Field. Never had a problem there, and just it was really anxious to try and get back there if I could.
You are the Cubs' last 20-game winner. Carlos Zambrano set a career high last year, winning 18 games, and he said he was going to make a point to you that that's something that I might break, if not this year, but soon.
No, I hope he does. I've said it before. If there's one guy, Carlos is that guy. I think he can go beyond that. I think he's a guy that can win 22, 23 games. His stuff is that good. So, I hope he shatters it.
John, how do you view this competition, winding up in the end where there's 4 or 5 guys gunning for the final 2 spots at the back end of the starting rotation? How do you address that as a competitor, as a teammate, as a ball player?
Well, it's the only way you can address is, you can only control what you do out there on the field. You try and make the most of it, and you just hope everything works out. But there's definitely the quality of starters, vying for those last 2 spots. I think it's great. I think everybody's capable of filling those last 2 spots.
I wanted to ask you about Giovanni Soto. This is a guy who's coming into the season as the Cubs' #1 catcher. Had a great minor league season that translated into a solid September with the Cubs. How is that relationship gonna go between a veteran and a new catcher, and how do you get off to a good start?
We'll just have to. First of all, we'll just have to see what happens. When we get out there. But I know he caught me the other day with my bullpen, and very soft hands. It looked like, and just have to let it play out.
And John's been terrific all spring. In 4 appearances, he's given up only 3 earned runs and boasts an impressive 1.8 ERA. And our thanks to John Lieber for joining us on Cubs Central pregame and for appearing on today's pregame show. John receives a gift certificate from Harry Carey's legendary Italian Steakhouse. It's the Cubs and the Padres coming up. Jim takes a look at the Cubs Central Sports Wire next on the WGN Chicago Cubs Radio Network.
Are you tired of watching your life?
Give me your thing. Bye. Give me the scorecard. Last one. No, I'm Trip's brothers and sisters. Yeah. Thank you.
Let's get on your scorecard here today, starting last, brought to you by Westgate Living. Justice League fans, here's a guarantee home run. Westgate Living to Irving.
Hold on.
Cubs Central Sports Wire on News Talk 720 WGN, sponsored by Crafty Beaver Home Centers and Seattle Sutton's Healthy Eating. Welcome back to Cubs Central pregame. Jim Memolo with you this afternoon. We got baseball coming up right after the top of the hour with Pat and Ron in Peoria, Arizona, as the Cubs take on the San Diego Padres. Jason Marquis going for the Cubs today against former Cub Greg Maddux. Elsewhere in spring training baseball, first of all in the Grapefruit League in Florida, where apparently the weather is much better than yesterday. Yesterday, we had 4 games rained out, and I mentioned before the Tigers game not rained out soon enough for Curtis Granderson, who broke his finger in the first couple of innings of that game before it got rained out. Final, Minnesota beat Baltimore today 3-1. Detroit is in a 3-3 tie with Cleveland right now. They're in the 9th inning. Gary Sheffield's hit his 3rd homer of the spring in that game for the Tigers. Atlanta has wrapped up a 4-2 win over the Astros. Hunter Pence having quite the spring training for the Stros. Hit his 4th of the spring. Carlos Lee, who's always ready to hit 30, 35 homers every year, he hit number 3 in the spring for the Astros, accounting for their only 2 runs, but Atlanta wins the game 4-2. Pittsburgh leads the Yankees 7-0 in the 8th inning. Philadelphia pounding Toronto 15-7. That game's in the 8th. Jason Donald has hit 2 home runs for the Phillies in that game, and Chase Utley's hit 1 for the Phillies as well. Tampa Bay has a 7-2 lead over the Cincinnati Reds in the 7th inning. Tampa Bay first baseman Carlos Pena picking up where he left off last year, hit his 3rd of the spring for the Rays in that game. St. Louis has an 8-3 lead over the Mets. That game is in the 8th. Another guy who's picked up where he left off last year, a great story, Rick Ankiel, has 4 homers this spring, hitting his 4th in that game. And Florida defeated Washington by a score of 4-2. Games coming up in the Cactus League. You know, the Cubs and San Diego Padres in Peoria, Arizona. Arizona Diamondbacks taking on Milwaukee. Kansas City going at it with the White Sox today. That game's getting underway momentarily. And the other 3 games that will be getting underway in about 10 minutes. L.A. Dodgers take on the Colorado Rockies. Texas Rangers will be hosting the San Francisco Giants. And the Seattle Mariners taking on the L.A. Angels of Anaheim in the last Cactus League game of the day. Boston Red Sox today beat Yomiuri of the Japanese League in an exhibition in Japan today. The score of that game was 9-2. And that's pretty much your spring training scoreboard. Like I said, a week from Monday, it's the real deal. The Cubs spending their final Sunday in Arizona. We'll wrap up the week. We got another broadcast, by the way, during the week coming up later on Thursday afternoon. We'll have Cubs baseball for you. And then they will wrap up the spring training session in Las Vegas against the Seattle Mariners on Friday night, and then on Saturday afternoon. As for college basketball, I got the NCAA tournament going on right now, and let's check the scoreboard for you on that one. And 4 games going on right now. First of all, Texas leading Miami of Florida 62-47, 6:39 left in the second half of that game. South Regional game in North Little Rock, Arkansas. In the East Regional, Tennessee leading Butler by a score of 42-34 with about 17.5 to go in the second half, and that's the East Regional game in Birmingham, Alabama. West Regional game in Tampa, Florida. Western Kentucky leading San Diego 39-27. 2 teams not expected to be playing today. Western Kentucky, a 12 seed, leading 13th seeded San Diego 39-27 again. Number 2 seed Georgetown in the Midwest leading Davidson by a score of 38-27, and that game is at halftime. Games coming up in Little Rock later on in the South Regional. Number 1 seed Memphis takes on Mississippi State, the number 8. You got Louisville taking on Oklahoma in the East and Birmingham, Alabama later. Number 1 seed in the East, North Carolina, faces Arkansas, the number 9 in the East. That's in Raleigh, North Carolina, the Tar Heels' backyard, so to speak. And 1 game in the books, Villanova going to the Sweet 16 for the 3rd year out of the last 4. One of the last teams picked for this tournament field, one of the last at-large bids. They were a bubble team. They're going to the Sweet 16, a 12 seed beating 13th seeded Siena by a score of 84-72, and Villanova will now take on Kansas, number 1 seed in the Midwest, Kansas, in Detroit later on this week. And that's a look at the NCAA scoreboard. NCAA Women's Tournament. North Carolina, Oklahoma, and Kansas State were all winners earlier today. Final round action of the World Golf Championship at Doral. Jeff Ogilvy still hanging on to that lead and widening his lead early today, 1 under through 2, 17 under for the tournament. He is 4 shots better than 3 other golfers, Retief Goosen, Adam Scott, and Graham Storm, all on the course, all at 1 under through 2. And then there's Tiger Woods at 12 under, 5 shots off the pace. He has shot a 1 under through 3 holes so far today. So pretty big lead for Jeff Ogilvy over Tiger Woods, but then again, it's Tiger, and it's Sunday, so you never know. But Tiger right now is 5 shots behind Ogilvy on the front 9 of the final round of that tournament. And I mentioned some of the Major League news of the day. John Smoltz might begin the season on the DL, sore shoulder. Andy Pettitte having back spasms with the Yankees, possibility he may wind up on the DL. And Brad Lidge of the Phillies had some knee problems earlier in the spring, and now they're saying he's probably going to begin the season on the DL as well. That wraps it up for Cubs Central pregame. Coming up, the Cubs take on the San Diego Padres in Peoria, Arizona. We'll have the Cubs postgame for you after the game. Coming up, Pat and Ron on the Chicago Cubs Radio Network.
Our second first pitch, you probably recognize it from Desperate Housewives. Welcome, James Dempsey. If you watch the show, there's some new episode of the run starting April 15th. Our third first pitch today, former quarterback for the San Diego Chargers from 1973 to 1987, a 6-time All-Pro selection, elected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1993. Let's welcome Dan Fox.
Chicago Cubs baseball is on the air from Peoria Sports Stadium, just north and just west of downtown Phoenix, Arizona. It's a Cactus League battle between the Chicago Cubs and the San Diego Padres. Good afternoon, everybody. Along with Cubs legend Ron Santo, it's Pat Hughes reporting. It is a very, very sunny and warm Sunday afternoon, and before we go any further, a very, very happy Easter Sunday to everyone listening in along the Cubs network today. We hope you're having a pleasant day with friends and family, and we've got baseball for you here for the next few hours. The Cubs and the Padres, the starting pitchers, former teammates with the Atlanta Braves. For the Cubs, it'll be Jason Marquis, and for San Diego, the four-time Cy Young Award winner, Greg Maddux. So it's Marquis for the Cubs and Maddux for the Padres. Let's take a look at the starting lineups for today's game. And the lineups, by the way, are brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois. Experience wellness everywhere. For the Cubs today, leading off and playing second base is Eric Patterson. Patterson leading off at second base. Alfonso Soriano in left. Derek Lee at first base. The number 4 hitter at third base is Aramis Ramirez. Kosuke Fukudome hitting fifth. Fukudome in center. Micah Hoffpar playing in right field today. Giovanni Soto doing the catching. Soto to bat seventh and do the receiving. Ryan Terrio at short, and batting ninth, right-hander Jason Marquis. Marquis pitching very, very well this spring. He has lost his only decision, but certainly he has pitched well enough to win, as his earned run average is a sparkling 1.93. San Diego takes the field. We'll give you their lineup and get this one started right after this on the WGN Cubs Radio Network. Your mouth. Greg Maddux' first pitch is in and over, and away we go on this Sunday afternoon. Eric Patterson batting left-handed, leading it off for the Cubs. Maddux always a quick worker, and the veteran comes back, and Patterson takes high for a ball. Let's give you the San Diego lineup before we forget. Brian Giles leads off in right. Tadahito Iguchi at second base. Paul McAnulty in left field. Maddux 1-1. Wrapped on the ground to the hole at short, backhanded, and bobbled. Safe at first is Patterson. Khalil Green tried to backhand. It would have been a close play had he gloved it cleanly. When he bobbled it, safe at first was Patterson.
You know, you look at that play, and he kind of stepped it. He could have gone another step to get it, and he reached for it, Pat, and that's why he ended up bobbling it. But you're right. Even if he gets it, it's close play.
It's been ruled an error run on the shortstop, Khalil Green.
I can see that. The ball came up.
Here is Soriano facing Maddox. Alfonso Soriano hitting .273 in the spring. The rest of the Padre lineup, the cleanup hitter is their fine fielding first baseman Adrian Gonzalez. Khalil Green at short, batting fifth. Scott Hairston in center. Michael Barrett, the former Cub, doing the catching. Maddox delivers. Patterson runs the pitch high. Barrett's throw to second. The slide safe at second base. Stole it on Maddox, Ronnie.
Yeah, he did, and, they've done it all of his career. At one point in his career, he didn't care because anytime he had a guy out second, he got the next guy out. But you can steal on Maddox, no doubt about it.
Patterson went in feet first, just ahead of the tag of Iguchi. The count on Soriano is 1-0 as Maddox deals. Here's a ball in there for a strike, and it's even. Rounding out the Padre lineup, Louis Rodriguez hitting eighth and playing third base. And the great Greg Maddox, who will be 42 years old in the middle of April, on the mound and batting ninth.
He hasn't changed a bit since he was 21.
Here's a throw to second on a pickoff, not in time.
He's got a good one.
Maddox, a great fielding pitcher, arguably the best of all times. 17 Gold Gloves.
17? He passed Cott.
Passed both Jim Cott and Brooks Robinson, who had the most, Ronnie, with 16 each. Here's the 1-1 to Soriano. Changeup is up and in, and the count 2-1. Maddox has won 17 of the last 18 National League Gold Gloves.
Isn't that something?
I was doing some mathematics in my head. You figure there's 11 or 12 pitchers on every staff. There are 16 teams in the league. Here's the bluff move to second. So you're talking about roughly 180 pitchers, Ron, in the National League at any given time. So that means he's been the best of 180 guys, 17 of the last 18 years.
Amazing.
Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss on a change, and the count 2-2. Peoria Sports Stadium, beautiful park, and a big crowd on this Easter Sunday. By the way, Ron, happy Easter to you.
Same to you, Patrick.
Thank you for the little bag of chocolate Easter eggs. What do I owe you for those, Ron? Here's the 2-2 from Maddox to Soriano, and a smash foul down the left field line.
I didn't receive mine from you.
Well, I was going to give you the bag, but I noticed the bag you gave to me, there was a bite out of one of the eggs, and I wanted to ask you who may have taken that large bite out of it.
Well, actually, I did.
And I thought that was the case. 2-2 on Soriano. No score, top of the first. Beautiful, warm day in Phoenix. Maddox deals. Wrap foul on the ground left side. We say Phoenix. This is actually a suburb of Phoenix. Peoria, up northwest of the city.
Beautiful complex. All of
is.
them are gorgeous.
Field well manicured here. Grass cut nice and low on this Sunday. 410 feet to dead center, 340 to the corners, and 385 to the gaps. Maddox bluffing Patterson back to second base. Maddox part of a strong Padre rotation as they look forward to starting the regular season a week from tomorrow. San Diego will host Houston in their opening day game. Ground ball into center field, a base hit. Patterson will stop at third as Hairston gets it back in. Patterson, first move, Ron, was back to second. He thought the grounder might be gloved by Khalil Green.
Yeah, that was a very bad move. You've got to realize when you got that lead and you're on second, you can't, you know anything hit behind you, you're heading. I mean, the ground ball especially, and why he took a step, I don't know. It just wasn't good base running. He should have scored easily on that play.
Good battle by Soriano to eventually single off Maddox. Cubs with an immediate scoring threat, and here is Derek Lee. First and third, nobody out. Maddox to Lee, the pitch. Fastball up and in. Maddox still good Last year, 14 and 11 for San Diego. His ERA a little bit higher than it normally is. He was at 4.14, but in remembering the box scores of last season, he kept the Padres in most of his starts. Soriano runs. Barrett throws second base, not in time. Holding at third, Patterson. Another steal against Maddox.
Yeah, Soriano, that's his first steal, I think, of spring, isn't it?
Look that up, Ron.
Well, you don't have to. I don't remember him running that much, but that's good to see him steal a base.
The count is 1-1 on Derek Lee. Second and third, nobody out. First inning. And now Lee swings and misses in the count 1-2.
Got a good changeup, boy. Maddox, that's what he does.
Ron, apparently we have not been paying real close attention to Soriano's running. That's his 39th steal of the spring.
Could have said 10.
Now the 1-2. Lee hits a foul in and out of the glove of Barrett, and it remains at 1-2. Maddox strikeouts a little bit down a year ago. I noticed that, but he's also still very good, Ron, at keeping the ball in the park. He allowed only 14 homers in 198 innings.
Wow, that is something, because he has a tendency to give up a lot of home runs.
And the reason I bring it up is because he's such a great control pitcher.
Yeah.
And for most control pitchers, since they're always around the strike zone, they will give up the solo home runs. Yeah. But Maddox didn't give up very many last year at all. The pitch to Lee. Down low, nice block by Barrett, down on both knees to smother that pitch. The Cubs today wearing their traveling uniforms with the blue shirts and the red numbers, gray trousers, blue hats and helmets, blue shoes for the Cubs. Second and third, nobody out the pitch. Lee takes low, a change of pace. Maddox nibbling on Derek, and it's 3-2.
Yeah, when he gets ahead or he's got two strikes on anybody, Pat, his control is so good, so he'll waste pitches hoping they go after him. And that's why he's the pitcher he is.
He's glancing back at Soriano. The runners lead. The pitch to Lee. Derek hits a drive foul off to the right, out of play. Maddox had a long stretch a year ago, some 58 or 59 innings without walking a batter, the second longest stretch of his career. He just does not self-destruct on the mound. You've got to beat him. You've got to get a lot of hits to beat Greg Maddox. Now the 3-2. Ball 4, he walked him. So an error, a single, a pair of steals, and now a base on balls. The bags are loaded with nobody out on the top of the first for a Ramos Ramirez.
And Ramirez leads the club with 10 RBIs, spring training. He's an RBI machine.
The Padres in their home uniforms, they have the bright white trousers. They've got the navy blue shirts. White numbers on their backs, navy blue hats, black shoes. Here is Ramirez hitting .313 in the Cactus League. The pitch, swing and a miss, a change.
Well, that's something he had a cut at that ball. He was trying to take that out of the yard. This is a guy that you got to stay back on and really try to just meet the ball, because when he changes speeds, look out.
Here's the 0-1 to a Ramos. Line to center, a base hit. One run is in. Rounding third, Soriano heading home. The throw by Hairston to the plate. The throw offline. Soriano scores, standing up. Cubs lead 2-0. Lee held at second, a 2-run single for a Ramos Ramirez.
Boy, that was a pretty good throw Harrison made there. I was kind of surprised that Soriano stood up. I mean, he didn't slide. But safe. That's a big thing. Another big base hit.
Ramirez driving in 2, hiking his RBI total to 12 for the spring. Still nobody out against Maddox. And, Ronnie, I've heard you say this many, many times in our 13 years together, that for a great pitcher like Maddox, you'd better get him early, otherwise you may not get him at all.
That's it. That's it. Maddox a lot like Fergie Jenkins, Hall of Famer. He'll give up 3 runs in the first couple of innings, but shut you down from there.
So when you get that early opportunity, you better make the most of it. Kosuke Fukudome takes outside. Kosuke, Ronnie, is going to play center field today.
Mm-hmm.
Looking forward to watching him roam out in center. He's played there before in Japan.
Yeah, in fact, the year 2004, I found out through his interpreter that he had played center field that whole year. And he likes it. But he prefers right field.
See, now, I thought you spoke fluent Japanese. That surprised me when I heard the word interpreter there. I didn't think you really needed one. Now the 1-1. Swing and a tap slowly up along third. Charging this slow grounder. It's foul. Rodriguez let it go. And it bounced foul about 20 feet in front of the bag at third.
Well, Fukudome, when you go by him, Pat, and you say, how you doing? Fine. He said, he's getting better and better with the English. He understands, believe me.
1 ball and 2 strikes on Fukudome. Had a couple of hits yesterday. And the pitch. Inside for a ball. I really liked his hustling base running maneuver yesterday.
Wasn't that great? Yeah.
You need little guys, some guys to give you those little sparks over the course of a long season. Just little mental elevators. 2-2 on Fukudome with a homer and 5 runs batted in this spring. A bouncer foul. He pulled an inside pitch against Maddox. Maddox uncharacteristically making a lot of pitches in this first inning, and there's already action in the San Diego bullpen. Opening day just 8 days away. A week from tomorrow at Wrigley Field. Cubs take on the Milwaukee Brewers. Carlos Zambrano against Ben Sheets. Fukudome checks and takes inside.
That's Jim Memolo I was talking to and said, it's a beautiful day there. It's sunny and 40 degrees.
I'll take it. I'll take it for opening day.
Oh, my gosh. As long as that sun's out.
3-2 on Fukudome. The runners lead. They're not going. The pitch is ball 4. Maddox walking 2 in the opening inning. Boy, you can watch him pitch a lot of games and not see him walk 2 in an inning.
No, and he's just not getting the ball where he wants to, and it's probably frustrating for him. 42 years old.
April 14th, he will turn 42. Maddox 9th on the all-time career victory list with 347.
Oh.
And it's just mind-boggling, some of the numbers that he has piled up over his great career. He was with the Cubs, of course, when he chalked up win number 300 against the Giants on a Saturday afternoon, August 7th of 2004. Beat San Francisco.
How many, if you recall, that Clemens has? He has 350?
Yeah, I'd say 353, 355 maybe.
So Maddox got a chance to go by him.
Clemens might even have a few more now that I think about it.
I'm thinking, is he close to 360?
He might be, Ronnie.
Yeah.
Maddox, I wonder if he is a little shaken up at this point. The trainer runs out to take a look at Greg. I'm not sure what it's all about.
The
trainer now is using a tiny instrument to work on the face of Greg Maddox. I'm not sure if there's something in his eye.
Might be.
Yeah. But anyway, Ron, the starting lineups today brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois. Experience wellness everywhere. Cubs with 2 runs in, lead 2-0, nobody out, top of the first, bases loaded, and Micah Hoffpar hitting .408 to face Greg Maddox. Maddox also was a Chicago Cub when he recorded career strikeout number 3,000 back in 2005. Hoffpar pops it up on the infield. The second baseman Iguchi will make the call and the catch with the infield fly rule in effect.
Wow.
One away.
That's what, any pitcher is hoping for, a pop-up like that with the bases loaded and nobody out, or a double play ball. Looked like Hallpower had a good swing, good timing, but popped it up. It happens.
Bags loaded, one away for Giovanni Soto. The pitch to the Cubs catcher is a strike. Maddox masterful at making the job look so much easier than it actually is. I mean, if it was that easy, other guys would do the same thing, Ron.
Yeah.
Soto waits the pitch. In there for a called strike two. Maddox with just a nice, what would you call a balanced delivery.
Oh, yeah.
He's always
his mechanics are fantastic. Never had any arm problems.
He's in perfect fielding position after his follow-through, and that's one reason why he's won all those gold gloves. Now the 0-2 to Soto. Called strike three on the outside corner. A fastball. It's got that little screwball effect. It looks to a hitter like it's going to be outside, and then it sneaks over the back edge of the outside corner at the last second.
Yeah, and you're going to see a lot of hitters, Pat, like Soto, that are going to look back at the umpire because, let's face it, Maddox, Glavine, those guys used to get an inch, maybe two sometimes. And, boy, if that doesn't frustrate a hitter, I don't know what will.
Ryan Theriot batting. 2 outs, they're loaded. Theriot takes low for a ball. Cubs had 2 in with the bags loaded and nobody out, and now there are 2 down with the bags still jammed. It's been a good inning. Theriot can make it a real big inning.
Yeah.
And the pitch. Called a strike.
You'd like to see, with the bases loaded and nobody out, you'd like to see a couple more runs.
Jason Marquis ready to pitch for the Cubs today. Marquis in the on-deck circle. Theriot, the 8th man to bat against Maddox in the opening inning. A fastball missed, and the count 2-1. Little breeze blowing right to left here in Peoria today. It's a warm Sunday, probably 84, 85 degrees.
They said it's going to be 88 at...
Swinging a drive, right center field toward the alley. That ball is trouble in the gap. It's a base hit. It'll clear the bags. 2 runs are in, rounding third, heading home. Fukudome. Cubs lead 5-0. Ryan Theriot, a 3-run double into right center.
Well, I tell you, he's a guy that Maddox probably has more trouble with because he'll stay back. He'll take the ball to all fields. He's not going to try to hit the home run. And Maddox got a breaking ball a little bit up and away, and he drove it the other way.
He split the center fielder Hairston and the right fielder Giles. It landed on the grass. Giles cut the ball off before it got to the track. Here is Marquis batting. 5-0 Cubs. And Maddox curves him for a strike. But the runners didn't have to hold up with 2 down. They were running with the crack of the bat. And I like watching Fukudome run, Ronnie. He was scooting.
Yeah.
Scoring from first easily. Here's a pitch down low for a ball. 1-1 on Marquis. Theriot with 3 runs batted in. He had 3 all spring before that one swing a moment ago. Marquis, a good hitting pitcher, normally makes contact. The 1-1 from Maddox. Pulled on the ground right side toward right field. Base hit. Past the diving Iguchi. Theriot heads home. He'll score as Giles bobbles the ball in shallow right. Cubs lead 6-0. A bouncing ball through the right side. Jason Marquis helping his own cause. The Cubs have scored 6 in the opening frame.
Marquis, that's a ball that had eyes.
It did.
It was just hit, and you could almost get to it, but not quite. And wasn't hit hard, but hit in the right spot.
6-0 Cubs. Here is Eric Patterson driving one to right field. Back goes Giles. Giles backpedaling, reaches up, makes the catch in deep right center. But the Cubs score half a dozen. 6 runs on 4 hits. There was 1 error, 2 walks, and 1 left. And at the end of a half, Cubs 6 and the Padres coming up.
Yeah, this is Spike. I bet leadoff.
Today's game time temperature of 85 degrees is sponsored by 4 Seasons Heating and Air Conditioning. For all the right reasons, 4 Seasons. With Ron Santo, Pat Hughes in Peoria, Arizona, the Cubs have lavished a gift of 6 runs upon their starter, Jason Marquis, as he goes to work here in the bottom of the first inning. Ronnie Marquis having a good spring.
He really is having a good spring, Pat, and ever since, actually the factor of his first outing went 2 innings and did a good job, but then the media kind of asked him how he felt if he wasn't starting, and he made some comments, and Lou just said, look, he's got to earn his job, so and he's done it. I mean, he's got a 1.93 ERA. He's not had a bad outing. Lieber, who is also fighting for that 5th job, has had a good spring.
Smacked on the ground past Marquis, up the middle, base hit Brian Giles. Giles almost drilled Marquis in the leg with that hot smash right back through the box. Leadoff single, and the batter Tadahito Iguchi. Former White Sox hitting .303 in camp. A home run and 2 runs batted in. San Diego had a good season a year ago. They finished at 89-74. They lost the 1-game playoff to Colorado in heartbreaking fashion. As Iguchi takes inside, San Diego had a 2-run lead in extra innings in Colorado. And the man with the most saves in big league history, Trevor Hoffman, on to work, but he could not close the deal as Colorado scored 3 times to win that game. It knocked San Diego out of the playoffs, and then Colorado began their Cinderella run all the way to the World Series.
Isn't that something? I remember us, didn't we sweep them at home?
Colorado?
Yeah.
Yes.
Huh?
That was right after the series on the south side.
Right.
In June. As Iguchi loops one, shallow left, it's going to drop. Base hit, broken bat. Stopping at second is Giles. Marquis made a good pitch, actually. He got in on the hands of Iguchi. Iguchi swung, broke his bat, but looped it over the head of Terrio into shallow left for a single.
Just amazing, and I say it every year, how many broken bats. I mean, right in half. Cheap wood. A lot of bat companies now.
First and second, nobody out against Jason Marquis. Marquis, here's an interesting thing I was reading about Jason earlier, Ron. As he faces Paul McAnulty, left-handed batting left fielder, McAnulty takes inside. Marquis has been in the big leagues for 8 seasons. All 8 of his major league teams have reached the playoffs.
Wow.
All 4 times in Atlanta, 3 times in St. Louis. The Cardinals always made the playoffs when he was part of their staff, and of course the Cubs a year ago. There are a lot of guys who have pitched and played for a long time and never made the postseason. Here's the 1-1. Lifted foul off to the left, out of play. But it's odd the way that works, Ronnie. Some guys just are fortunate to be on good teams. Certainly some of those guys are one of the reasons why their teams make the postseason.
Right.
But other guys, let's face it, they're just along for the ride. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The pitch. Fastball just missed inside. Marquis thought he had him. Soto held the catcher's mitt there for an extra split second to let Ron Culpa, the umpire, take a long look. But it just missed. 6-0 Cubs, bottom of the first. And the pitch from Marquis. Low, blocked nicely by Soto. Good play.
Very good play, because he was ready to go to third base. Childs, he was making a couple of steps, and Soto really blocked that well. Got his body right in front of it and kept it in front of him.
McAnulty, a left-handed batter with an open stance, hits out of a bit of a crouch. Marquis coming back. Pulled on the ground foul toward first, off the foot of the batter, and down he goes. McAnulty drilled that one off of his own foot or shin, and he's hurting.
Well, I tell you, Pat, they do hurt, and you get them in the right places, and you really got a problem.
Bud Black, San Diego manager, out to take a look at McAnulty along with one of the Padre trainers. He is trying to hobble around and get some feeling back in that right leg of his, the lower right leg. Bud Black, former big league pitcher with Kansas City, among other teams. Black, a pitching coach for Anaheim for a while. And now in his second season as the Padres skipper, Bud Black. McAnulty waiting for Marquis. 3-2. Nobody out. First and second, bottom of the first, 6-0 Cubs. A swing and a high fly ball, shallow center. Fukudome coming in, looking up into the sunshine, and pulls it down for out number 1. McAnulty is retired, and here's Adrian Gonzalez. Cubs preseason baseball today, brought to you by Unique Indoor Comfort Heating and Air Conditioning. And we thank Unique Indoor Comfort Heating and Air Conditioning. They've been with us all spring long.
Do you know that the Padres made 19 changes? They got 19 new ball players.
That's quite a few.
You can believe that.
Adrian Gonzalez hitting, takes a strike. I'll tell you why that surprises me, Ron. They had a winning team, not a postseason team, but they were 89-74 a year ago. That's not a bad year.
No, exactly. And you look at all the guys they got rid of. You got rid of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can't believe this. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 pitchers. Can you imagine that?
So they're going to go with a staff of 1 pitcher all season long.
It's something. Jim Edmonds, of course, is with this ball club.
He's injured right now.
Yeah.
Here's a foul off to the left, out of play. Edmonds out with an Achilles problem and a sore calf, we understand.
He's had some problems, Edmonds. I really think he's seen his best days.
He's played so recklessly and so wonderfully in center field defensively. All the diving catches and the slamming into the wall moves that he's made. The 1-2. Popped up foul off the hands, out of play, left side.
And, you know, for a big man, his instincts in center field, he's so quick. But, you know, when you watch him run, he doesn't look like, I mean, he's above average runner, don't get me wrong, but not like a speed demon of any kind. But, boy, that's all it takes to get that jump on the ball.
A balk has been called on Jason Marquis by the home plate umpire, Ron Kalpa. The other umpires today, Bob Davidson, Mike DeMuro, and Jim Reynolds. As you were saying that, Ron, I was thinking of watching Edmonds going back on a ball. One of the best center fielders at going back on a ball that I've ever seen.
And played shallow.
Absolutely.
Boy, and you talk about a base hit, and he'll throw you out at home plate. He's done that to us.
Deep drive to right. Man. This is trouble. Back toward the right field wall, and a long home run. A 3-run homer for Adrian Gonzalez. And it's a wild first inning in which there have been 9 total runs scored.
This is probably their best hitter and best RBI man, Gonzalez. He kills us.
Gonzalez' first homer of the spring. Had only 2 RBIs in the Cactus League until that 3-run homer over the wall and right. Cubs' lead is now cut in half. It is 6-3. And Khalil Green batting takes outside. Marquis coming back to Green, and Khalil hits a high fly foul off to the right and out of play. Jim Edmonds, I remember a hot summer night in St. Louis in a pennant race, a division race between the Cubs and Cardinals. I want to say about 2003 or 2004. And he made a catch in short center on a fly ball, and Doug Glanville, here's the smash to third. Great stop by Ramirez. He throws him out.
Oh, man, what a play.
What a play is right. Diving to his left, a short hop stop. A miraculous play by Ramirez.
He was parallel to that ground. Great instincts by Ramirez. That was just an outstanding play. I thought that was a base hit. It was by him, but he dove and made a great play.
That was amazing. Yeah. 2 down, and here is Scott Hairston. Cubs lead 6-3 in the first. But I'm sure you remember that throw from short center at the old park in St. Louis.
Yep.
All the way on the fly. I want to say Mike Matheny was catching. As Hairston takes outside, and Doug Glanville
was running.
He could still run at that time. And he was out easily. I don't think he even tried to slide. He was out by that much. It was just a remarkably good play by Edmonds. Here's a swing and a miss by Hairston. He got rid of the throw so quickly, it came all the way on a fly, straight as a string.
Oh.
It's funny, you know, you just can't forget certain plays that you've seen.
And the way he was charging, you know, and all in one motion. He had the body behind that ball.
Popped up foul off to the right and out of play. Great crowd here in Peoria, Arizona today. The Cubs have been a tremendous draw at both home and on the road.
And I've noticed more this year when we go on the road, Pat, that there's more Cub fans than we've ever seen on the road.
Today's audience is going to surpass the 10,000 mark. The Cubs on the road this spring have drawn over 100,000. Smacked on the line, right center, base hit toward the alley all the way to the wall. Extra bases for Scott Hairston. He is motoring around second, hot-footing it to third with a slide, a triple. Scott Hairston, a 3-bagger into the gap in right center.
He can pick it up and lay him down. I'll tell you, he can run. Woo.
Marquis has given up 4 hits. Fortunate that Ramirez made that sensational play at third. He's not fooling many hitters in this opening inning. And here is Michael Barrett. Larry Rothschild wearing that jacket. It's blue with red sleeves cut off at the elbows. Cubs still have some decisions to make on their staff. Ron mentioned earlier that the final couple of roster, or rather rotation spots, still to be officially determined.
Yeah, they'll do it before, I would say, before Vegas. But they'll take a couple extra players to Vegas.
Cubs will leave here on Thursday after their final Arizona spring training game. Play 2 games in Las Vegas. Well, it is Lost Vegas for many guys. It's Las Vegas. There's a swinging strike on Barrett.
Say that again.
I'm just planning in advance my weekend, Rod.
Boy, I tell you, I remember going to Vegas in my younger years, and you get off that plane, you go on a junket, and you just can't wait to get out of that plane, and you see everybody just, it's like the start of a big ball game, and then everybody going back to the airport, heads down.
It's like a blowout loss. Here's the 1-2 to Michael Barrett on the way. Outside, it's 2-2. I always figure it must have taken a lot of money to build all those beautiful hotels and casinos. And I wonder where that money came from, Ron.
And they're bigger than that. They actually tore down Las Vegas and made those hotels.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Barrett strikes out on a curve in the dirt to finally end the first inning. Lots of action on both sides. Cubs got 6 in their half. San Diego responds with 3 on the homer by Gonzalez. We've played 1 in the Cactus League. It's the Cubs 6 and the Padres 3. Alfonso Soriano leads it off against Greg Maddux in the second inning, pulls a chopper foul left side, 1 ball and 1 strike. Cubs baseball today brought to you by Unique Indoor Comfort, Heating and Air Conditioning. Cubs will continue to play every day through next Saturday. Then they'll take a week from today off. There is a strike. I believe Lou Piniella will schedule a workout for that day before the opener next Sunday at Wrigley.
Get used to the cold.
Yeah, and it might take some getting used to.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was looking at the forecast for this week in this area. Soriano fouls it away. I think it's going to be 90 tomorrow, 86 Tuesday and Wednesday, so that's really going to be pleasant here, of course, but what a transition going back to the Midwest. Soriano had a single his first time and scored a run. He takes strike 3 called, and there's one away in the second inning.
He must have been looking for something there. Not a fastball.
Ron, how did you do that over the years when you would spring train down here in Arizona and then fly up to Chicago or St. Louis or wherever the Cubs would play in the Midwest to start the season, and you're looking at 40 or 50 degrees difference?
Yeah.
How do you do it?
Well, you do it. I mean, you know, it's funny, Pat. When you put the uniform on and you go out there, you know, you don't feel it as much as when you walk out there. But once the game starts, the adrenaline starts flowing.
Derek Lee drives one in the air, deep right, back toward the wall. Giles with an excellent running catch in the corner. Very nice play by Brian Giles. Angling toward the 340 marker in the right field corner. He is left-handed, so he reached up and made a very nice backhanded catch on the run, parallel to that screen in the corner.
Boy, he had to go a long ways for that ball. That ball was up there high. What a play.
That was nice.
Yeah.
2 outs, and here is Aramis Ramirez. Cubs lead 6-3, second inning. Ramirez swings and misses.
You know, you just once that game starts, you got to think about concentration is very important. When it really does get cold is when a
bounced off the glove of Maddox to the shortstop Green. He throws out Ramirez, score the play 1-6-3, and the Cubs go 1-2-3. And at the end of 1.5, Cubs 6, San Diego 3.
Hey, everybody, it's David Kaplan. Tune in to Sports.
Third baseman Luis Rodriguez.
Cubs baseball brought to you by Square D. Square D, part of the power at Wrigley Field. Jason Marquis to face Luis Rodriguez, Greg Maddox, and Brian Giles here in the bottom of the second inning. First pitch high to the left-handed batting Rodriguez. 6-3. That was the score at the end of one inning. And, of course, if that pace would keep up, the Cubs would win this game 54-27. Nice Easter Sunday score for you. 1 ball and 1 strike on Luis Rodriguez. I'm kind of hoping that's not the final score.
Yeah. Well, we'd be here a long time, Pat.
I don't mind the 54 scored by the Cubs. I just don't want to see the staff give up 27. Ground ball diving stop by Terrione. Throws out Rodriguez. Another great play behind Marquis. Terrio flagging down that grounder with a valiant dive behind second, and impressively got to his feet and fired to first to get Rodriguez.
That was really the key, how quick he got up after diving after that ball and have something on it. Great, great play.
And here is Greg Maddux.
I think this year, Pat, I mean, we had Terrio and also Ramirez on that left side, but I think our defense this year is going to be that much better.
It's a high priority.
Yeah, it really is.
Lou Piniella always talks about defense, catching the ball, throwing the ball, making all the plays. Jason Marquis rocks and fires to his former Braves teammate Maddux, who fouls it away. San Diego, we mentioned they will head to Southern California, play their final 2 exhibition games against the Angels, and then they open up against the Houston Astros in San Diego a week from tomorrow night. Maddux takes down low, and I like the matchup there, Ron, in that opener. How about Jake Peavy against Roy Oswalt?
Yeah. Yep, that's a good one.
A couple of former Cy Young Award winners in that one. Now the 2-2. Maddux chops it foul at the plate, and will do it again. Maddux, part of a solid rotation when you think about Peavy as their ace. Chris Young, the tall right-hander.
Yeah, speaking of him, Pat, he got hurt, didn't he?
He did.
Last year?
He did. I forget exactly what the problem was.
I do, too.
Here's the pitch on the way to Maddux. Check swing foul back out of play. But he's healthy this spring, and Young is going to be part of the rotation, and so is Randy Wolf, former Philly, former Dodger. He was signed as a free agent by San Diego last December.
He's had a lot of injuries, though.
Yep. Swing and a miss. Maddux has gone 2 down. But those are your 4, and then the 5th spot is still up for grabs. Mark Pryor is in camp, but he's not going to be ready to go at the start of the regular season.
Till June.
They're looking at, late May, early June at the earliest for Mark Pryor.
Yeah.
I'll tell you who else is in camp pitching very well, and that's Glendon Rush. Former Cub, Glendon Rush.
I'm not surprised.
Giles hits one in the air to left, down the line. Long run Soriano toward the corner. It slices foul. And it's 0-1 on Giles. Yeah, Glendon had that issue with an embolism with the Cubs, and I thought maybe his career would be over. Thankfully, it's not over yet.
No, he had to stay away from baseball for a full year.
But he's in camp, Ron, and I was talking to some people. He's done well this spring, and he is not necessarily a lock to make the staff, but he's in very good shape, I understand. And it looks like he very likely could be part of their pitching staff. And he's a candidate for that 5th spot in the rotation.
He's a good man.
He is a good man. A lot of former Cubs on this San Diego team.
Yeah.
Of course, Michael Barrett and Pryor and Rush. Sean Estes is also in camp.
Yeah.
Here's a pitch that missed to Giles. One and 2 on the former Pirate slugger Brian Giles. Ron, not quite as bulky as he used to be. Takes outside for a ball, and the count is 2-2.
No, not quite.
His power numbers way down from years past. There was a time when he was one of the more formidable sluggers in the National League.
Well, he hit over 500 against us.
Ground ball to Lee. That one year he sure did.
Yeah.
Lee makes the play unassisted on the bouncing ball to first, and Jason Marquis works a 1-2-3 inning. We go to the 3rd here on this Easter Sunday. Cubs 6, San Diego 3.
This huge crowd of stars.
Kosuke Fukudome hits a high fly ball to center, a routine play for Scott Hairston. He gloves it easily for the first out here in the third inning. With Cubs legend Ron Santo, Pat Hughes in Peoria, Arizona. All of the scoring occurred in the first inning. Cubs jumping on Greg Maddux for 6 runs. San Diego got 3 off Jason Marquis. The big blows: Ramos Ramirez, a 2-run single, Ryan Terrio, a 3-run double for the Cubs, and Adrian Gonzalez cracked a 3-run homer for the Padres. Michael Hoffpar batting, takes a strike. Maddux ready for the 0-1 delivery. And here it comes. Swung on and foul back on a change.
You know, he has a variation, too, of changeup. I mean, he'll throw one, let up a little bit on his fastball, for instance. Then he'll throw a circle change. I mean, he just changes speed so well. And as we were talking before, Pat, with the same arm motion. And that's hard. I mean, for a hitter. That's why he gets a lot of hitters off stride.
Now Maddux coming back, 1-2 to Hoffpar. Pulled foul right side. Does he remind you of anyone you faced, Ron? Greg Maddux?
Gosh.
He's kind of unique, isn't he?
Yeah, he's very unique, Pat. For a guy, when he first came up, Pat, he was a power pitcher, believe you. I mean, he
fouled away.
He, as you know, he was 90, 93. I remember. He's got small hands, but that ball was always moving somewhere, and then he's just very unique.
The control is remarkable.
Yeah, it is.
He puts it almost exactly where he wants to, time after time.
The only one I would say reminds me, and I played with him for 9 years, is Fergie Jenkins. Because Fergie had a changeup, Pat, and the mechanics were so good. And he hit corners, and he had a slider that he threw it like a dart on the outside part of the plate. Yeah, I would put him in that category.
The 1-2 just inside, a 2-2 count on Micah Hoffpar. Ronnie, a reminder, we invite all of our listeners to go to www.cubs.com beginning tomorrow to have your voices heard and help pick the song that will be played on opening day as the Cubs take the field against Milwaukee. Now, the song that Ron and I came up with after extensive studying, researching.
It makes a lot of sense, too, and it's a great song to get everybody ready for that game.
We've come up with Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville. Now, you can vote for that song or any others. There are 16 choices beginning tomorrow at www.cubs.com, but it's got an upbeat song and upbeat tune, rather, and Jimmy Buffett, a great Cub fan, has been in our booth many times. Deep drive to right down the line, hooking in the corner and going foul. But Margaritaville is kind of a party song, and opening day is a party day, Ron. So that's our choice, and we invite you to either vote for that or some other song.
Well, we're telling you to vote for that.
That's right. You're going to hear from Ron if you don't vote for us. Here's the 3-2. Pulled foul deep to right, out of play. But it's the Cubs' March to Opening Day tournament. It's going to be a bracket-style voting. There will be 16 songs to choose from. Each day, you can vote for a song to advance to the next round. Here's the 3-2. Lifted, a pop fly shallow left down the line with the glasses glistening as Rodriguez in foul territory, making the catch. Hoffpar fouls out to the third baseman. 2 down. Here's Soto. Cubs lead by 3, inning number 3. Yeah, they were playing some other catchy baseball songs here in the ballpark, and I'm sure some of the other candidates, like Glory Days by the great Bruce Springsteen, the boss. Here's a swing and a miss by Soto, Glory Days. The one thing about Glory Days I've always thought was funny, the word for a fastball that Bruce Springsteen uses, he calls it a speed ball. You can throw that speed ball by you. Here's a swing and a foul back. In all my years in baseball, I've never heard of any baseball person refer to a fastball as a speedball. Have you?
No.
No. But I still love the boss. Foul back by Soto.
And that was a speedball.
Sandy Koufax threw a speedball, didn't he?
Threw a jet.
Now, Bruce he's a big baseball fan. He was a close friend of Ted Simmons. I think I told you before. I met Bruce Springsteen in the clubhouse many, many years ago. And he's not a real tall guy, but he's very strong.
Yeah.
And he's athletic looking, and he loves his sports. And you can tell if you've ever watched video of him or seen him in concert, he puts on a very physical show, jumping around and dancing and moving. Here is a swing and a foul off to the right, out of play.
You met him with who?
Ted Simmons was a good friend. And
Simmons, you talk about a good catcher.
He could
good hitter, right and left.
Switch hitter with power.
Gosh, what a ball player.
Now the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Soto is gone. So are the Cubs. They go quietly against Maddox, who has settled down. Again, you got to get him early or you may not get him at all. We go to the bottom of the third. Cubs 6, San Diego 3. Jason Marquis looking at Tadahito Iguchi, right-hander to right-hander. The bottom of the third commences with Marquis missing outside with a breaking ball. Cubs lead 6-3. Iguchi, McAnulty, and Gonzalez here in the last of the third. Fastball strike, and it's 1-1. Big crowd again on this beautiful Easter Sunday afternoon.
Was that probably was the biggest crowd yesterday in Mesa, right? Would you say, or have they had? I don't think they've had more than 12,800.
12,894 yesterday.
Wow,
almost the biggest
9.
one I can remember.
Yeah.
Iguchi single to left his first time, takes low for a ball. 2-2. And speaking of attendance and tickets, there are tickets available for games at Wrigley Field. Give the Cubs a call, 1-800-THE-CUBS, or go to Cubs.com for more ticket information. Iguchi fouls it back to the screen, 2-2. Driving in today, Ron, there's a famous body of water right next to the ballpark. Not so famous, but has kind of an interesting name. There's a high pop fly, shallow left center. Terrio and Patterson out. Fukudome comes in and makes the catch for out number 1.
You know, Fukudome doesn't seem to have any problems with that sun. So what was the name of that lake?
Well, it's a little body of water right next to the Peoria Sports Complex. It's called Skunk Creek. And it never fails to make me smile as I drive by Skunk Creek. And you almost can't help but look at the creek as you drive by.
Have you ever run into a skunk?
No, but thanks for asking. Here is a fastball high for a ball. Right next to Skunk Creek, there's a little clothespin factory, which is right next door. Here's the pitch on the way. Swung on and popped up, shallow right center. Patterson out, but this is Fukudome's play, or Hoffpar. It's Hoffpar, the right fielder. 2 down. But if you were going to build a luxury hotel, Ron, and you were the manager, and you thought, now, where would be the most luxurious setting that I could think to build that luxurious hotel?
Skunkville.
How about right on the banks of gorgeous Skunk Creek? Gonzalez belted a 3-run homer his first time. I noticed there were about 12 dry cleaners right along the creek. Not sure what that all means. Here's a pitch in there for a strike, 0-1.
Oh, is that a bad smell? Oh. You don't want to get them upset.
Do you have any stories, Ron, for us? Here's the 0-1 to Gonzalez. Check swing. It's down. It's a called strike. A swing ruled by Ron Culpa. I'm just thinking of all the names you could call a body of water.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody had to actually name that Skunk Creek. And somebody had to agree to, yeah, that's a good idea, Charlie. Go ahead. I'll go along with that. Why not? Skunk Creek. Outfield is straight away.
And, you know, skunks are not really that popular here in Arizona. I think it's more rattlesnakes.
Here's a pitch taken high for a ball. So you say they're not popular here. Where exactly would skunks be popular, Ron?
It just doesn't seem like they'd be very popular here.
The 1-2 is high for a ball. It's 2-2. We'll have some people maybe write us letters and tell us where there are hotbeds of skunks, where they really are a popular item. I don't think we'll get many letters in that regard. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I don't think we care either.
The pitch is low and in for a ball. 3-2 on Adrian Gonzalez.
How'd we get into skunks?
I just happened to see it on the way in. I'll be honest, I look forward to seeing that sign every year when we drive by.
Oh, my gosh.
3-2 on Gonzalez. Cubs lead 6-3 here in the third. Something wrong about talking about skunks on Easter Sunday. We apologize for that. 3-2. Here's the windup by Marquis in the pitch. Pulled foul right side on the ground. Just a few more spring training games, Ronnie, and then they start to count.
Yep.
And that's what we look forward to every year. We enjoy coming down here. It's a very relaxed time of the year. But to be very honest with you, at this time, I'm ready for the games to start meaning something.
Well, so are they, the players themselves. And especially players today who...
Swing and a miss. He got him to end the inning. Marquis works another 1-2-3 inning. That's 7 straight retired by Jason. We go to the 4th inning here in Arizona. It's the Cubs 6 and the Padres 3.
Leading off for the Cubs, number 2, Ryan Theriot.
Yes, we see who the leader is here.
Pat and Ron with you from Peoria, Arizona. Fourth inning, Ryan Theriot leads it off against Greg Maddox. Ryan had the Cubs' big blow in the first inning, a bases-clearing 3-run double to right center. He takes a strike.
And he's hitting 8th today, but I got to believe, if we don't make a deal before opening day,
Fouled away.
I got to believe that maybe Ryan's going to be the number 1 hitter, and or they might go back to Soriano. I'm not sure, but anywhere he hits, he can get it done. I mean, an 8th place hitter, nobody likes to hit 8th. You got to be very disciplined to hit 8th because you got the pitcher coming up and they can try to pitch around you, make good pitches. But Ryan seems to get the job done in that 8th spot too.
Here's the windup and the 1-2 to Theriot. Ground ball, that's fair, off the glove of Gonzalez into foul territory. His throw late to first with Maddox covering. Theriot gets a base hit. He reached out and punched one down the first baseline off the backhanded glove of Gonzalez. It squirted into foul territory. Adrian, a very good fielder, still almost got Theriot, but it was a late throw from foul territory. Theriot a single. Here's Jason Marquis.
And I'm sure that Theriot, who had 28 stolen bases last year, only caught 4 times. Only 4 times. And he'll probably be running here.
Cubs lead 6-3 in the 4th inning. Ronnie, as you were talking about Theriot and where he may bat in the lineup, there's the runner going. A changeup, a strike. Barrett's throw to second, never get him. Theriot, a big jump. You were just talking about his steals.
Yeah. And that's why, Pat, you really, he's better off in that either that number 2 spot or the number 1 spot if we don't make, as I told you, a deal. But
Marquis with a count of 0-1.
It's really interesting talking about lineups.
Ground ball toward the middle. That's going to be a base hit. Theriot to third and holding. Hairston comes up throwing to the cutoff man, Gonzalez. Marquis 2 for 2, wraps a sharp single up the middle. And back to the top of the order for Eric Patterson.
Every day that I go in and see Lou, we sit down and we go over lineups, and he's so good, and if this happens, if that happens, but we do have a man that everybody thinks should be hitting in that probably 4th or 5th slot, Soriano, but boy, I tell you, it's hard to move a guy that's been so successful in that number 1 spot.
And he seems to like it.
And he likes it a lot.
Patterson has reached on an error and lined out. Infield back, nobody out. 4th inning, Cubs lead 6-3. From the stretch, Maddox to the left-handed batting Eric Patterson, a strike. Let me ask you this, Ronnie, and I'm going to throw out a couple of numbers before I hear your response. Talking about a set lineup and how important you think it is or perhaps is not. Last year, the Cubs used, I believe, 125 different starting lineups. Here's the pitch. Looped into shallow left center. That's going to fall in there for a base hit. A run is in, stopping at second Marquis. Eric Patterson comes through, and the Cubs lead 7-3. Still nobody out, 4th inning. 3 straight hits off Maddox in the inning. And now 7 hits off Greg in the game for the Cubs.
Well,
but let me just finish, Ronnie. The Cubs won the division.
Yes.
They did not have a great offensive year, but it was good enough to get into postseason.
Right.
Again, that's a lot of different lineups.
Yes.
So let me ask you this. How important do you think a set lineup is to a ball club? As Soriano swings and misses.
Well, I think what's important to a ball club when you have as many big hitters on your club is where they hit. That's really important, is what I'm saying. 3rd, 4th, and 5th is really solid. And now we've got speed up in the front. So I think a lineup, you won't see much of a difference unless there's injuries.
Soriano fouls it, Ron.
But
go ahead.
I know myself, of course, you like to know that you're going to be hitting in a certain spot every time you come to the ballpark. But last year nobody knew who was going to play, and until Lou finally figured it out how he wanted the certain lineups. And Lou. One thing about Lou, he wants to use 25 guys. You know what I'm saying?
Soriano fouls it away.
He likes to get those the bench a few extra hits. A few extra bats. So I think it's only really guys like, and everybody feels, oh, you got to put him down there. But when you look at his last 4 to 5 years and the success he has had.
Soriano pops it up foul left side. Over toward the railing is Rodriguez. No play. Cubs lead 7-3 here in the fourth inning. And I think that's an interesting point you make, that for the key hitters, the guys in the middle of the order, your big guns, they like to know where they're going to bat. I think that's
exactly right.
That's an excellent point.
And
certainly Soriano.
And we talked about this, 3, 4, 5, it doesn't matter.
Fouled away.
You know what I mean? It's, usually your third hitter, it's always been said, is your best hitter. But your 3, 4, and 5, and even 6 are the big RBI guys.
Soriano with that slightly closed stance. And the pitch on the way. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. Strike 3. Soriano tried to check on a high pitch, but Maddox strikes him out, and there's one away.
He didn't argue a bit. He knew he went.
One down. Derek Lee batting. First and second. A run in. Cubs lead by 4 in the fourth.
I was talking to Derek about, hitting in that third spot, and he was there was a lineup, and he moved down to the fourth spot when they had Fukudome hitting third, and I said, "Do you mind?" He says, "No, I don't mind hitting there," but he said, "The only thing I mind is I like to be up in the first inning."
Get into the game.
Yeah, he likes that.
The 0-1 to Lee. Driven in the air, deep right. Back toward the wall is Giles. Long run toward the corner. Giles makes a running catch. Tagging at second and going to third is Marquis. And Giles gets a good jump on a ball.
Yes, he does. I thought he had that a little more that time.
I did too.
The extension was very good. The ball was away, and I thought he might have got that one.
Looking at the flags, they might have held that ball up just a little bit.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
2 outs, men at first and third, and it's up to Aramis Ramirez.
You're always right.
No.
This is the problem.
No, that's not the case. And I realized that as I was driving right past Skunk Creek about an hour and a half ago. Here's a pitch in there for a strike to Ramirez. 0-1. I'll say another thing I was thinking about, Ron, regarding set lineups and the difference between the era in which you played and the guys today.
Mm-hmm.
Here's Ramirez swinging and missing. I think the guys in your day were more likely to play almost every single game if you were healthy. You played 162 many times.
Played 164 one year, Billy and I.
Billy played over 1,100 consecutive games at one time. Randy Hundley told me he caught 160 games under Leo DeRocher one year. So I think, guys, in your day, you had more set lineups because guys didn't take days off.
No.
And these days, I think managers are more concerned, more aware of giving certain guys a day off every now and again and keeping them as fresh as they can. Would you agree?
Yeah, I agree. But, we played when it was 162 games and played as much. But we had one-year contracts, number one. And when you had a good lineup, all Leo had to do was go to the ballpark and make the same lineup every day, unless there might have been an injury. But
Ramirez smacks it foul past third.
You try to stay out of the trainer's room. I don't remember any DLs at that time. Guys get hurt, they lay off a couple days or something. But It's different today, Pat. I think the reason they get more time off is they work out. I mean, they're playing this game all year round, almost, especially working out and being fine-tuned.
2-2, runner goes. Ramirez hits a fly ball to left center, shallow. McAnulty coming in. And the left fielder slides at the last second and makes the catch, a ball that he either did not see or slightly misjudged, but he did make the play with a sliding grab. Cubs get a run on 3 hits, leave 2, and at the end of 3.5, Cubs 7, San Diego 3.
Okay, for the Cubs is heading now at third base, number 64, Casey Green.
Cubs 7, San Diego 3, last of inning number 4. Cubs baseball today brought to you by Fifth Third Bank. In a few moments, it'll be the 5th inning, and it'll be sponsored by Fifth Third Bank. Pat and Ron with you as we move to the last of the 4th inning. Khalil Green to lead off, then Scott Hairston and Michael Barrett. Jason Marquis delivers to Green, high for a ball. It's 1-0. Ronnie, we'd like to thank Ryan Oler, our fine producer engineer here for the Cactus League. This is his final game of the spring with us. There is a strike, and the count is 1-1. Ryan's done an excellent job.
Excellent job. He got me here in a hurry from where I live.
Now the 1-1. Popped up foul and back out of play. On Thursday afternoon, we will have a broadcast here, and we will have our full broadcast crew intact. Matt Bolts will be on hand to start his 8th season as the producer engineer, and Corey Provis is going to be on hand. Corey will
be in today, so he'll be here the whole week.
And Corey will do the pre and post game shows every day. Here's the pitch, fly ball to center, pretty well hit. Back goes Fukudome, still going, makes the catch. Never took his eye off that ball.
No.
1 down. Fukudome is fundamentally very sound.
And that's what you got to like. Yeah, you know, it's going to take him a little while to get used to the pitchers. You know, these are probably a lot different than the Japanese pitcher he faces. But it won't take him long.
Scott Hairston stepping in. Cubs lead by 4, inning number 4. First pitch inside, ball 1. Cubs will play Milwaukee this Thursday. That's our final Arizona broadcast. Then it's over to Las Vegas for a couple of games against Seattle. We will have both of those for you as well. Starting times, Thursday, 2:05 Central. Friday night, 9:15 Central.
Wait a minute, Thursday?
Thursday is 2:05 Central.
Okay.
Which would be a noon start here, Ron.
All right.
Friday, over in Las Vegas, it'll be a 9:15 starting time, Central Time. And Saturday's game at 3:05 Central. Here's the 1-2. Fisted foul back to the screen. We'll do it again. Tomorrow, Ryan Dempster will start in the game against Texas over at Hohokam Park in Mesa. Tuesday, the Cubs take on the Giants. Rich Hill to make the start for the Cubbies in that game. The 1-2 to Hairston. Popped up foul, out of play.
Who's going tomorrow?
That's Ryan Dempster.
Tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
We're in Mesa, aren't we?
Mm-hmm. Texas starting a guy named Kason Gabbard tomorrow. Cubs have always done well against guys named Gabbard. Here's a foul off to the right, out of play.
Fictitious name. Is that true?
It's his name. Kason Gabbard.
Gabbard.
Mm-hmm. San Diego has a guy with an interesting name. Calyx Crab. He's a big fan of Oscar the Grouch. Here's a fastball swung on and missed. Strike three. Calyx Crab. He spells it C-A-L-L-I-X. And then the last name is C-R-A-B-B-E. Calyx Crab. 2 outs. Here's Barrett batting. Cubs lead 7-3 in the bottom of the 4th inning. Barrett, a strikeout victim his first time. And he hits a high fly ball to right, deep down the line. Playable, I believe, for Hoffpar. Foul territory. Nope, it slices out of play. Barrett's power has mysteriously disappeared, Ron. Do you realize after he was traded by the Cubs in June?
He has not hit a home run, has he?
He did not homer with San Diego in some 121 games. Now, I'm looking at the wrong list here.
Well,
there is a strike. I'll find the right one. He did not homer for San Diego, though.
Right.
There is a strike, 0-2. Now, Barrett played in 44 games with San Diego, no homers, and he has not homered this spring. A little puzzling. The pitch. Fastball is high. He's a big guy.
Mm-hmm.
Barrett's home run highs came as a Cub. He hit 16 3 consecutive years.
Yeah.
Beginning in 04. And he pokes this one foul off to the right, out of play.
I think the big factor when he got traded, he was struggling, got traded, and I think personally knowing him, I think his confidence has to be the problem right now.
Here's a ball down low, and the count is 2-2. Well, the Cubs still have to make some roster moves. They still have 36 men remaining in camp. They're going to have to cut 6 more pitchers, probably an outfielder, and at least 4 or 5 infielders. Marquis delivers 2-2 to Barrett. Up and in, ball 3. Kind of a lazy Sunday afternoon here in the Valley of the Sun. It's hot today.
Yeah.
Now the payoff pitch. Poked on the ground right side. Lee backhand. Straightens up. Overhand. Leading Marquis to the bag nicely to end the inning. Derek Lee makes that play look easy.
Yeah.
3 up, 3 down at the end of 4. Cubs 7, Padres 3.
This is the voice of Chicago.
Will Ledesma is the new pitcher for San Diego. He is a left-hander. And Ledesma is going to face Kosuke Fukudome, Micah Hoffpar, and Giovanni Soto. And again, it is the fifth inning, the Fifth Third Bank, fifth inning. Fukudome has walked and scored a run and flied to center. Just a little breeze blowing out toward left field. It's not going to be a big factor. Maddox allowed 7 runs in his 4 innings. Here's the windup and the pitch on the way. Fastball fouled away off to the left, 0-1. Cubs got 4 of their 6 runs in the first after 2 were out, and they were all 4 of those were unearned. So I believe only 3 of the 7 runs allowed by Maddox were earned runs, if that matters. Not sure it really does in a spring game. 1 ball and 1 strike on Fukudome. Lefty to lefty the pitch. There's a breaking ball upstairs, 2-1.
Fukudome seems to not be bothered with left-handers, Pat. He stays in there very well with that shoulder.
He strokes one foul off to the left and back out of play.
But it just seems like all Japanese hitters, they move their feet, but they keep their body and their shoulder right there. You know, all of them. Ichiro, same way. You know, it's like they're hitting and running at the same time.
Mm-hmm. It almost looks difficult.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
Yes. But I noticed the most important part, keeping that shoulder there. The feet might go, but the shoulder stays right there, and those hips move real good.
3-2 pitch fouled away.
But that's what it's like. It's like Gar. You remember
Ralph Gar?
Ralph Gar. Oh, my gosh. You talk about a guy that was 2 steps out of the batter's box as he was swinging.
Mm-hmm.
Good man.
3-2 pitch on the way. Fukudome takes outside, a leadoff walk. He's going to draw some walks. Nobody out in the man at first, and here's Micah Hoffpar. Cubs lead 7-3 in the 5th inning.
Ralph Gar was on the Atlanta team, and when we came into town to play Atlanta, that was the year my folks were killed in an automobile accident, and he was the first, other than my teammates, but on another team to walk up to me personally and to give his condolence. It was really nice.
That is thoughtful.
Yeah.
Swing and a miss by Micah Hoffpar, and the count is 0-1. He still comes to the park in Atlanta.
He's scouting.
Cubs lead by 4, 5th inning. Hoffpar 0 for 2. Ledesma's pitch down low for a ball. Cubs baseball today brought to you by Unique Indoor Comfort, Heating and Air Conditioning. Again, you can go online starting tomorrow to vote for the song you want to hear as the Cubs take the field on opening day. The runner goes. Hoffpar hits a high fly to deep center. Back goes Hairston near the track. He's got room. Pulls it down. 1 away. Fukudome 2/3 of the way to second. Retreats.
He had a good jump.
And here's Giovanni Soto. Go to Cubs.com starting tomorrow and make your votes for the March to Opening Day tournament. Vote for the song you want to hear on opening day, and the Cubs take the field. Soto has struck out twice, both of those against Maddox.
Yeah.
Takes low from Ledesma, ball 1.
Soto not having a spring he'd like to have, but boy, you talk about a year in AAA last year and then came up and was a big lift to our ball club.
Swing and a miss on a change.
That's what they're getting with change-ups.
Fukudome at first, one away here in the top of inning number 5. The big left-hander Ledesma delivers. Fukudome runs, and Soto bangs it foul back to the screen.
I noticed both of his swings, that bat's coming off his, he's letting one hand go or slipping. You can see now that he's trying to get a little more pine tar.
Cubs played 8 games against San Diego during the regular season a year ago. The Cubs were 3-5 against these guys. Fukudome runs. Soto hits a high fly ball into shallow right. It's a pop fly, really, into foul territory, and the first baseman, Gonzalez, makes the catch for out number 2. 2 gone. Here's Ryan Theriot. Ryan 2 for 2.
Yeah, and having a very good spring, defensively, offensively. He was the spark plug. Once Lou gave him the shot at short, he's solid ball player.
Theriot with a 3-run double and an infield single, has scored twice, driven in 3. Cubs lost 3 of the 5 at Wrigley against San Diego last season, and they lost 2 of 3 in San Diego at Petco Park. Here's a big chop past the mound, a charging Green, the shortstop, running throw to first to get Theriot to end the inning. Cubs don't score. We've played 4 1/2. Cubs 7, San Diego 3.
Hey, it's me, Bob Surratt. Don't forget.
Luis Rodriguez leads off for San Diego, then a pinch hitter, I believe that's a catcher, Josh Bard on deck, and then Brian Giles against Jason Marquis, who more than likely is working his final inning of the day. He gave up a 3-run homer in the first inning, and that's pretty much the only damage. 7-3 Cubs, bottom of the 5th. Rodriguez bounced out, a play on which Theriot robbed him his first time. Here's a foul at the plate.
You know, I see Janelle is coming to town from L.A. and to see you, and you've got Amber and Trish coming in late tonight. And, you know, when I see Janelle, I think about your Voices of Baseball, and she did the cover on the CD, and it was dynamite.
Thanks, Ronnie. The series is called Baseball Voices, and Janelle is an artist and a photographer and a whiz on the computer, and she actually did all of the cover artwork on all 5 of the CDs. The Harry Carey CD, I know a lot of the Cub fans have copies of the Harry Carey CD. Here's the pitch on the way. Gonzalez fouls it away.
Now, how many? That's what I was going to ask you. Did you do any this winter?
Did a couple. Yeah, we've got 2 new installments. Bob Uecker, I call his Mr. Baseball. Of course, I worked with Bob for 12 years before joining you, Ron. And we had a lot of fun with that one. And then Harry Callis, the great voice of the Phillies. Harry also the wonderful voice-over talent for NFL films. And he's done various commercial voiceover jobs as well. But those are the 2 newest ones. Harry Callis of the Phillies and Bob Uecker of the Milwaukee Brewers, in addition to Harry Carey, Jack Buck, and Marty Brenneman. Baseball voices. And we like them. But I'm so proud of the work that Janelle has done as the cover artist.
I couldn't believe it when I saw it. It was fantastic.
There's a chopper toward Derek Lee at first. It is foul.
And how is your book gone?
It's done very well. Harry Carey, the voice of the fans, and that's going well as well. But the CDs are audio gatherings of highlights and Hall of Fame speeches and kind of the life stories. And they're a lot of work, but they're a lot of fun. And when you're finished with those, Ron, and then play one for the guy like a Bob Uecker or a Harry Callis, and they call back and say that they enjoy it and their family enjoys it, it's a very good feeling.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Here's a pitch low and inside for a ball, and you know that I love baseball history and researching and finding the old highlights, and it was a lot of fun.
And remember him. That's amazing.
Well, but anyway, we invite folks to go to baseballvoices.com for more information. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Rodriguez. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. A foul tip into the glove of Soto. 1 down here in the 5th inning. I think Lou Piniella is going to make a change.
Yep.
Marquis has reached his pitch limit for the afternoon, apparently, and Lou is going to make a change. For a quick oil change, go to Jiffy Lube. We are in the 5th inning. It's the Cubs leading San Diego 7-3. And we'll be back with more in just a moment on the WGN Cubs Radio Network. Hey, Cub fans, don't miss the action. The Cubs take on the Brewers next Monday, the 31st of March, and then again on Wednesday, April 2nd and Thursday, April 3rd. All games begin at 1:20 in that series, and for the first 2, it'll be Cubs Magnet Schedule Day for all the adults, 30,000 adults 21 and older, and those magnet schedules are compliments of Old Style. With Ron Santo, Pat Hughes in Arizona, Cubs lead San Diego 7-3, and Carmen Pignatello, who has not yet allowed an earned run all spring, we'll see if he can try to keep that intact.
And Patrick, he's held hitters to 105.
Can't do much better than that.
Oh, my gosh. He just had a great spring, and he's not a guy that throws hard at all, changes speeds, good control. And that's the key. He throws strikes. He can get left-handers out.
Josh Bard is the pinch hitter for San Diego, fouling one away. Pignatello always works out of the stretch, the left-hander. He's worked 6 1/3 innings this spring. Curveball just missed.
Wow.
Check swing by Bard. 1-2. Breeze is picked up, blowing out toward left and left center just a bit. On this hot day, strike 3 call.
Another good curveball there.
The left-hander with a backdoor curveball to the right-handed batter, 2 down. And here is Brian Giles.
He threw one that just missed and came right back with another one that caught the plate. No doubt about it.
Here is Giles. He has singled and scored a run and grounded out. Lefty to lefty, a curve for a strike. Pignatello coming back to the plate. It's popped up. Another good pitch. Foul, playable. The catcher Soto will make the play.
Beautiful.
Over near the Cubs' third base dugout, and Pignatello continues to mow hitters down. We go to the 5th inning here in Peoria, Arizona. The score remains the Cubs 7 and the Padres 3.
Headley, number 18, Paul Massey. Moves to right field. Lead off the Cubs number 5, shortstop Ronnie Cedeno.
Lots of changes on both sides as we move into inning number 6 here in Peoria, Arizona. Ronnie Cedeno will lead off and pinch hit for Ryan Terrio. Carmen Pignatello due up next. We might have another pinch hitter. Cedeno hits the first pitch in the air to right, playable for Giles. And Giles, who has been replaced by a guy who is a right-hander, makes the catch.
Number 4, Eric Patterson.
One away here in the 6th inning.
Well, who should we call him?
Well, I am not sure. Let's see. I am trying to sort out my batting order here, Ron.
Yeah.
Cedeno actually batted for Pignatello.
Yeah.
So Carmen will leave. And this is Eric Patterson batting with one away in the 6th inning. Cubs lead 7-3. First pitch, a strike, 0-1. Here's the windup, and the next offering by Ledesma. Bunted back toward the mound. The big left-hander gloves it, turns and throws out Patterson. 2 down.
Number 12.
He had to get that bunt a little more down the line, and he'd have beat it out easily. He can run.
Two outs, nobody on. Here is Alfonso Soriano. And the windup and the pitch on the way. It's taken high for a ball. You're still trying to solve the mystery of the right fielder. You've heard of Walt No Neck Williams. This is Larry No Name Johnson out in right field. That's who it is. Recognize Larry anywhere. Foul back by Soriano. Production assistant Janelle Hughes with her telescopic lens on her camera. She gave me a hint as to his number. She said he's 30-something, Ron. I like that. Here's a pitch outside to Soriano. Too bad I was going to slap a few 20s on Janelle for her work until that. Well, the ball outside, and the count 3-1.
She knows you. When you talk about 20s, you're talking about $1.
Well, I didn't say dollars. I meant cents. Soriano has singled. He's 1 for 3. He scored a run in that 6-run outburst by the Cubs in the first inning off Maddox. Swing and a miss. Soriano came up empty. It's 3-2. Soriano waves that bat menacingly as he hits a high pop fly right side foul. Gonzalez over near the stands, and it's out of play. The new right fielder is Paul McAnulty, which is very helpful because he was the left fielder earlier. Now the mystery shifts over to left. And the 3-2. It's inside, ball 4. Soriano draws a 2-out walk, and it will bring up Derek Lee.
Number 25, Derek Lee.
You know, things are a little casual in the spring. And
yeah.
Changes are made, and I want to read something regarding a game note that has made me chuckle for several days here, and see if this makes sense to you, and see why you think I might find it amusing as Lee waits. I'm reading about Micah Hoffpar, okay? It says, Ronnie, it says, Micah Hoffpar has played every day of the Cubs Cactus League schedule this spring, comma, appearing in 23 of the team's 25 games. Now, to me...
That should go on Leno.
Now, to me, that sounds like he's missed 2 games. 23 out of 25.
Except.
Here's the pitch on the way to Derek Lee. It's taken down low for a ball. Chase Headley. Chase Headley is the new left fielder for San Diego. Chase Headley in left. Derek Lee twice has flied to the warning track in right. Now the pitch. Fastball is outside, and the count is 3-0. Derek driving the ball to the opposite field, Ron, the last couple of days. Are you concerned he's not pulling the ball?
Yeah, I'm a little concerned.
Lee pulls one on the ground weakly to short. A charging Green gloves it, throws to first to get Lee to end the inning. Cubs don't score at the end of 5.5 innings. The score, the Cubs 7 and the Padres 3. Tadahito Eguchi bounces one toward third on the first pitch in the sixth inning, and it's gloved by Casey McGehee, who just replaced Aramis Ramirez, and McGehee fires it to first in time, one away. Carmen Pignatello still on the mound for the Cubs.
Yeah, and
as he gets the first man with one pitch, and here's Paul McAnulty batting. And the first offering is taken outside for a ball. We've got some finals for you in the NCAA basketball tournament. All of these winners today advancing to the Sweet 16. Here's a ball inside to the left-handed hitter. Let's see what we've got here, Ron. Western Kentucky has defeated San Diego 72-63. Western Kentucky, I believe, a 12 or a 13 seed. And they advance. Villanova will advance with a win over Siena. Swing and a miss, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Texas over Miami, 75-72. Davidson upsetting Georgetown. So Davidson in the round of 16. Curveball got him looking. Strike 3 call.
Boy,
a knee buckler.
Yeah, he's got a good curveball, and he's got good command of it. That's the one he throws right at the hitter, and they kind of buckles their knees, and they end up taking a pitch.
In overtime, Tennessee over Butler, 76-71. 2 outs, bottom of the 6th inning. Cubs 7, Padres 3. Adrian Gonzalez steps in and takes low. Gonzalez pulled a deep home run to right his first time up. Since then, he has struck out.
Isn't Tennessee kind of favored?
Yeah, they were like a number 2 seed, I believe. Swing and a miss by Gonzalez.
But they're one of the top teams along with... Did Kansas City win?
Kansas,
I mean.
I do not see any scores here today, Ron.
Well, that was yesterday, I think.
I think they did, yes. I did see that they won. Here's a bouncing ball wide at first, past a diving Hoffpar into right field, a base hit. Lee has left the game. Micah Hoffpar playing at first. I think that's Eric Patterson now out in right field. And again, lots of changes. Just kind of go with the flow here in the Cactus League. Stay loose, have fun with the games. Fukudome has left. I think that's Felix P.A. in center. Khalil Green takes a strike. That's who it is. Felix P.A. in center. Fukudome has left. Soriano has left. That is Matt Merton in left field. Pignatello deals. Here's a high fly ball, deep left field. Back is Merton to the warning track. He is at the wall. He's got room and gloves it to end the inning.
Wow.
Green gave it a ride. Merton ran it down. Padres don't score. We move to the 7th. Cubs 7, Padres 3.
The exclusive Weather Channel 4.
The all-time saves leader in big league history, Trevor Hoffman, comes on as he'll work in the top of the 7th inning. Cubs lead by a score of 7-3. For the benefit of those who are just joining us on this Easter Sunday, the Cubs erupted for 6 quick runs in the first off Greg Maddux. The highlights were a 2-run single by Aramis Ramirez, a 3-run double by Ryan Theriot, and an RBI single by Jason Marquis. San Diego then scored 3 of their own in the first on Adrian Gonzalez's 3-run homer. Cubs got the final run of the game in the 4th inning on Eric Patterson's run-scoring single. And that's where we are as we go to the 7th. 7-3 Cubs. A brand new lineup virtually in the game for the Cubs now, as Casey McGehee will bat to lead off this 7th inning off Hoffman. First pitch popped in the air, playable, foul, caught at first by the new Padre first baseman, and that is Kevin Kuzmanoff.
Number 20 center fielder, Felix PA.
One away here in the top of the 7th inning. And Felix PA to bat for the first time. Cubs baseball today brought to you by Unique Indoor Comfort Heating and Air Conditioning. Hoffman, always from the stretch. And a changeup is in for a strike. Ron?
I was going to say, Hoffman has been unbelievable. He has over 500 save, which is just amazing. And the year he got him there, and then he just couldn't close the door last year. That was a shame. He doesn't throw as hard, but he's got such a great changeup that even that fastball at 88 surprises a lot of hitters.
Here's the 1-1. Ground ball toward the middle. That's going to be a base hit past the diving Iguchi. Single for PA. He is aboard with 1 away. And the batter, Michael Hoffbar. I remember, Ronnie, watching that game with Larry Rothschild. We were watching that one-game playoff where Hoffman failed against Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
And Larry was talking about the change that Hoffman throws. He says it's more like a combination change-up splitter.
Yeah.
Which was, I thought, a pretty good explanation
yeah.
or description. It comes in and it drops also.
Yes.
So you've got not only...
Yeah, and to have that kind of control, so what you say, a combination, he's probably thrown a split finger, but he has, taken something off the ball. He's got a way to do it. Very unique pitch.
So the hitter has not only the speed adjustment to make, but the downward movement as well.
And then he comes right over the top with the fastball. So, and wasn't it Gwynn?
Chris Gwynn.
Chris Gwynn. Did he double down the line? Or?
I think it was a triple on the final Saturday of the regular season.
Right.
And that came with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th, and San Diego was on the verge of a victory in that game and a postseason berth. That would have given them the wild card.
Right.
But they lost that game in extra innings. They lost the final day of the season, which forced the one-game playoff, which they lost in Colorado. Strike to the left-handed batting Hoffbar. But you're right about one thing. San Diego would not have made the playoffs without the regular season work of Trevor Hoffman until that final weekend. I mean, they wouldn't have even been close. Here's a changeup outside for a ball. For the season, he had 42 saves. .524 saves as a big league pitcher. 524. A lot of stress, Ron.
Yeah.
He converted about 86% a year ago. That's the amazing thing. It's the percentage of conversions for Hoffman.
Yeah.
not only the great number, but the relatively few blown saves for his career. Here's a swing and a foul off to the left, out of play, and let's face it, that's why you keep your job as a closer.
Yeah.
Because you're getting the job done.
Well, at one time, boy, he came, I think he came up with Cincinnati as a starter, didn't he?
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden made the adjustments, and boy, at one time he could bring it. With that changeup, it was unhittable.
Here's a line drive into right field, a base hit. That was a hanging change, and Hoffmar strokes a clean single to right. Back-to-back hits. PA stopping at second. Cubs lead 7-3 in the seventh with one away, 2 on. And here's Giovanni Soto. Yeah, Hoffman spent his final season in the Reds system in 1992. And like you say, Ron, he was a starter at that time. He then was selected by the Marlins with the 4th pick in the first round of the expansion draft and appeared with the Marlins for 28 games in their first season of 1993. And then traded to the Padres in June of 93. And that's, as they say, the rest is history.
So he's done it. Most of those saves has been with the Padres.
Oh, yeah. All but 2 of them, Ron.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. All but 2 saves have been as a Padre. 522 with San Diego.
Whoa.
No balls and 2 strikes on Henry Blanco, batting for the first time today. Hoffman to Blanco. Changeup is low and in for a ball. It's 1-2. Darrell Ward is on deck. Crowd just kind of laid back on this warm Sunday. And the pitch. Ground ball to second, sharply gloved cleanly by Iguchi over to first. That's a double play. Cubs don't score. They leave 1. Middle of the 7th. Time for the stretch. The 7th inning stretch this season brought to you by Citgo. It is 7-3 Cubs over San Diego on this Easter Sunday, and here is the stretch.
Kerry Wood was in the picture.
Welcome back after the 7th inning stretch. We go to the bottom of inning number 7. Kerry Wood now to pitch, and it's a significant outing for him. This will mark the first time all spring in which he has worked back-to-back days, as he is making a very strong bid to be the Chicago Cubs closer. A tall, strong, right-hander, Kerry Wood, throwing very, very free and easy and very hard in the Cactus League to face Khalil Green. First pitch, taken high, ball one. Scott Hairston leads off for San Diego in this 7th inning.
Well, this is his second appearance back-to-back, and that's what they're looking at.
Inside ball 2, 2-0. Kerry yesterday, Ronnie, worked a 1-2-3.
Yeah. And boy, he was throwing that fastball.
Here's the next pitch, fouled away, and it's 2-1.
And you know what I like with Kerry, and it started, he kind of started off slow and then kept building and building. And what he's been through, Pat, of coming back when he thought maybe his career was over.
Fly ball left center, pretty well hit. PA on the run, back toward the track with room. He's got it, one away.
And it was either to do it without an operation, and he lost 30 pounds. He was working hard every day, and it really paid off. He's as healthy now as he was when he was younger, because he's really thrown the ball well and thrown strikes. That's what you got to like.
One away. Kerry Wood fires. The first pitch is high for ball one, 1-0. Jody Garrett batting, I believe. And Garrett, former Chicago Cub, swings and misses. And the count is now 1-1 strike.
Why don't I remember him?
Garrett appeared very briefly for the Cubs a few years back. Got him from the Indians. Surprised you don't remember him, Ron. He used to sit right next to you on the team charter flights. There is a pitch in there for a called strike. One ball and two strikes on Jody Garrett. And the pitch. Pulled foul sharply right side. Wood with a slider breaking low and in to the left-handed hitter.
Yeah, I don't know if he's throwing the curveball at all. It might just be slider, fastball, changeup. Because you don't, really all you need is that fastball slider. Either one when you're in there for one inning.
The 1-2 drilled foul deep to right, out of play.
That was a hanger.
For Wood, this is his 10th spring appearance. He has one save. His ERA is 4. The main thing, he's been healthy.
Yeah.
Except for that 1 day or 2 days missing with a back spasm. The 1-2. Ground ball toward the middle. That's going to be past a diving Cedeno for a ground ball single.
Got jammed on it, but had eyes.
Jody Garrett with a 1-out single. And it brings up Louis Rodriguez. No broadcast tomorrow or Tuesday or Wednesday for that matter, but Thursday, Ronnie and I will have the final 3 spring training games for you. Cubs and the Brewers on Thursday, and then over to Las Vegas for 2 more games against Seattle, and that'll wrap it up. There's a strike. Rodriguez, 0 for 2. One away. Cubs lead 7-3 here in the bottom of the 7th. And the pitch. Tapped foul, and it's 0-2. Wood with a brand new ball, vigorously gives it a good rub. PA shades Rodriguez toward left center. Wood taking a little extra time. Short lead by Garrett at first, held by Hoffpar. And the pitch. Breaking ball in the dirt, blocked by Blanco, but it bounces off his shin guards. Down to second goes Garrett. That'll be a wild pitch. Kerry might have tried to overthrow that one just a little bit.
Yeah.
It happens. And he snapped that breaking ball into the dirt. It landed a good 2 to 3 feet in front of home plate. Wood now glancing back at Garrett and deals. Fastball inside, 2-2. The attendance today, well in excess of 10,000, I would think. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him.
Got him on a high fastball.
2 down. A man at second, and a pinch hitter coming up for San Diego.
What is this hole, 10-5?
I think it's right around 10, 10 and a half, something like that.
That's right. Yeah, I think so, too.
Josh Bard batting for the second time, so he stayed in the game to catch. And now Bard takes a strike, 0-1.
Has he been their regular catcher?
Michael Barrett and Bard.
Oh, both.
Mm-hmm.
Been splitting?
I believe so. For this broadcast, they have at least, Ron.
Well, they have. When you said 44 games, I can't remember when he ended up with San Diego.
Barrett, it was in late June.
Okay.
Swing and a miss, 0-2. Let's see if Wood can put a scoreless inning on the board. The big right-hander fires again. Breaking ball just high.
Yeah, if he had that down, he had him. Pretty good pitch.
Seven to 3. The Cubs lead San Diego. Bottom of inning number 7. Wood fires. Strike 3 call.
Wow.
Fastball got him. Inning over. Wood with a pair of strikeouts. Works back-to-back days, and with every passing day, he looks a little bit more like the old Kerry Wood.
Boy, does he ever. God.
San Diego gets nothing. Wood gets a standing ovation from the Cub fans in attendance. We go to the 8th inning. Cubs 7, Padres 3. Enrique Gonzalez is pitching for San Diego as we move to the 8th inning. Cubs baseball today brought to you by Unique Indoor Comfort, Heating and Air Conditioning. Cubs 7, San Diego 3. Kerry Wood, Ronnie, looking good.
Boy, really looking good, Pat. And yesterday we did the game. He came in, struck out the first 2, pop up this time again the last 2. he really looks like the Kerry Wood, as you said, Pat. A lot of confidence right now, and throwing the ball so well. I mean, really, that fastball is at 96, 97.
Darrell Ward first up against Enrique Gonzalez, takes a strike. The stocky right-hander facing the burly left-handed batting Ward. And the 0-1 pitch. Ward takes up and in for a ball, and the count is even. But I guess the true test for Wood, even though he looked good yesterday, looked good today, I guess would be tomorrow morning if he wakes up and feels okay.
That's right. That's the test.
The 1-1 is high for a ball. Ron, we've talked about hitters making the transition, going from the warm weather here in the spring of Arizona to the cold weather of the spring of the Midwest. Here's a swing and a foul back. Is the transition, do you think, the same for a pitcher, or is it more difficult for the hitters making that?
More difficult for the hitters. I mean, a pitcher and a catcher, Pat, I mean, it's the opposite. It's like when it's real hot out there, hitters have an advantage. But when it's cold, the pitchers definitely have the advantage.
Ward bounces one up the middle, base hit to center, past a diving second baseman Iguchi. That is not Iguchi, it's a replacement. Ryan Oler, our engineer, says he's 11. I think he looks a little bit older than that.
At least 12.
Now that's Craig Stansberry. Stansberry, the second baseman, got a glove on that ball. Ward with a base hit. And here's Ronnie Cedeno. 7-3 Cubs, 8th inning. Cubs looking for their 11th Cactus League win against 14 losses. San Diego has played a pair of tie games. The Cubs had a tie yesterday against the Sox. There is a strike. I'm guessing that during the regular season there will not be too many tie games.
No.
You hope not, at least.
They'll continue the next day.
Cedeno swings and misses.
Well, you know, when we didn't have lights at Wrigley Field, Montreal and us were tied, and had to call it because of darkness. And the next day, we started right there.
Finish that game and play the regular game.
Yeah.
1 ball and 2 strikes on Cedeno. Ronnie is 0 for 1 in today's game. Fly to right his first time. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him. 1 away in the inning. Here's Patterson. Cubs lead by 4. They've led all day ever since a 6-run uprising in the first inning against Greg Maddux. Cub tickets are available. Give the Cubs a call. 1-800-THE-CUBS. You can go online to Cubs.com or visit the Wrigley Field box office. Patterson strokes it foul off to the left, out of play. Again, a week from tomorrow at Wrigley Field in Chicago, the Cubs and the Brewers. Carlos Zambrano against Ben Sheets. Here's the pitch. Taken for a strike. Ted Lilly to work game 2. That's the Wednesday game, April 2nd. Milwaukee, I would suppose a guess might be Jeff Suppan to work number 2. Here's a pitch inside. Ben Sheets to go the opener. Giovanni Gallardo placed on the disabled list, so he will not pitch in that opening series.
Suppan probably is their number 2 guy.
He's a candidate.
Yeah. Is Rapuano still with them, isn't he?
Chris Capuano left the mound the other day, Ron. I think he left the mound with some arm issues. I don't know if he's good to go at this point. I'll find out. Brewers bullpen with a new look.
Yeah.
They've got not only at the back end with the closer, Eric Gagne. Here's a line drive down the left field line, slicing foul toward the corner. But the Brewers also picked up, Guillermo Mota. And they've got David Risky. Again, Risky, one of those names.
Yeah, one of those names.
Just doesn't make you feel real secure. The Brewers a few years ago had a guy by the name of Grant Balfour.
Yeah, I remember that.
And that was another shaky sounding name. Here's a ground ball to second. Glove by Stansberry to second, one over to first. Double play, inning over. Cubs don't score in the 8th inning. We go to the bottom half. Cubs 7, San Diego 3. Tim Leahy pitching for the Chicago Cubs as we move to the bottom of inning number 8. The Cubs enjoying a 7-3 advantage on this Easter Sunday. We thank you for joining us. Cubs out hitting San Diego 10-6. The starting pitchers are the pitchers of record, Jason Marquis and Greg Maddux. And Leahy to face the Padres, top of the order in the bottom of the 8th inning. We keep checking the transactions every day and reading the stories regarding trades and possible trades, rumors of trades. Here's a ground ball into left field, a base hit. A leadoff single for Chase Headley. Headley leads it off with a single to left. But overall, Ron, really kind of a quiet spring regarding movement between teams.
Really? Maybe they're waiting to see. Maybe this will happen this week. I don't know. But there's been a lot of rumors. And I haven't heard. We're working on a couple deals, and we don't know if they're going to go through or not. But hopefully.
Leahy missed high. He misses again, and the count now is 2 balls and no strikes. Brian Myro batting for San Diego. Myro hitting for the first time. Looking at the Yankees transactions, they placed Carl Pavano on the 60-day disabled list.
Boy, he's all that money, and all of a sudden just went down.
Came up with a sore arm, and the Yanks are on the hook for what, $25, $35 million?
Yep.
Big dough.
Yep.
Morgan Ensberg, it looks like, has made the Yankees team. Ensberg, the former Houston third baseman, now with the Yanks.
Oh yeah, I know. Didn't he? Did he go over there in a minor league contract? Or?
That's exactly right, Ron.
Yeah.
He had signed a contract with Scranton Wilkes-Barre of the International League.
Mm-hmm.
But the Yankees have officially placed him on the roster, apparently.
This is a guy that you can't figure out whatever happened to him.
He looked like he was a star in the making.
Oh, man.
Swing and a miss, strike three. Myro is gone. Cubs lead 7-3, last of the eighth. One away, a man at first, and it'll bring up Oscar Robles. Some of the other names that caught my eye in the daily transaction list: Sidney Ponson, still hanging around, has been reassigned by the Texas Rangers, reassigned to their minor league camp. Here's a pitch outside, 1-0.
Well, it goes to show you, they're thin in pitching.
Although the words
he's not thin
and Ponson rarely were included in the same
I was
sentence.
going to say, I was wondering how big he is.
Outside ball 2-0. Here's another name that keeps resurfacing, Ron. Ray King, a left-hander, has made the Washington National staff. Ray, a former Cub, former Brewer, former Cardinal, former Brave. Left-handers, they always seem to get that extra year or two at the end of their careers. Especially left-handed relievers, it seems.
Yeah.
Here's a fastball high, and Robles draws the walk. 2 on, 1 away, last of the eighth, and here's Stansberry coming up to bat for the first time. San Diego released a couple of players yesterday. Outfielder Jeff Devannon and catcher Robert Fick were let go. The Giants claimed infielder Jose Castillo off waivers from Florida. I believe that's the same guy that used to play for the Pirates.
Wow.
Jose Castillo. He's kind of bounced around.
He sure has. Thought he was going to be a good one.
You know, it's a funny thing, Ron. Here's a strike to Stansberry. You and I see these guys for maybe 10, 12 games a year, and he can do things and really impress us. And yet, there's got to be a reason why a kid with such apparent talent keeps moving around.
Yes.
There is a pitch outside. So apparently there's some, I don't know, I'm not going to, speculate. But
it's got to be, he looked good against us. There's no doubt about it. And probably either defensively, a lot of times that will move a player. I mean, if you can hit, though, usually they find a position for you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a combination. And the one thing, Pat, I really believe this strongly, that once you get to the big leagues and you have performed and looks like you're going to be in the big leagues, a lot of guys, and we've mentioned guys like Barrett, got off to a great start in the big leagues, and all of a sudden just lost his confidence, and that plays a big part. You got to, when you go that plate, you got to believe you can get it done.
There's strike three call, 2 down in the 8th inning. Lou Piniella is going to make a pitching change. For a quick oil change, go to Jiffy Lube. We are in the 8th inning. It's the Cubs 7 and the Padres 3. Back in a minute on the WGN Cubs Radio Network. Pat and Ron with you in Arizona. Cubs looking good on this Easter Sunday, leading by 4 runs. Bottom of inning number 8. The Padres do have 2 men on with 2 down. And the left-hander Les Walrond is the new Cubs pitcher, and his assignment is to get 1 left-handed hitter out. And this is Chip Ambrose. Chip Ambrose, the left-handed hitter, taking a strike. And the count is 0-1.
That's a good curveball right there, and that's something you don't expect right away. And
Ambrose, go ahead, Ron.
Well, I was going to say another good one. Gee.
Ambrose has left the game. This is pinch hitter Mike Baxter. Outfield pretty much straight away. Walrond coming back. Looped foul off to the left into the crowd.
3 breaking balls in a row.
Speaking of the crowd, Ron, a whopper of an audience today. 12,035 here in Peoria.
Well, I tell you, it's been unbelievable this spring. And the weather's been great.
Curve wrapped on the ground to second, scooped up by Fontenot. Over to first, and that's that. Walrond gets the job done. Padres don't score. We go to the 9th. Cubs 7, San Diego 3. Ninth inning in Peoria. Cubs 7, Padres 3. Matt Merton batting for the first time today. Cubs baseball this afternoon brought to you by Unique Indoor Comfort Heating and Air Conditioning. Here's the first pitch on the way, and it's taken outside for ball 1. Merton, Fontenot on deck, and then McGeehee. Cubs have led all day. Merton hits a fly ball to right. Pretty well hit. Back goes the right fielder. Larry No Name Johnson grabs it on the track for out number 1. One down here in the 9th. And Fontenot batting. If the Cubs do score an insurance run, it will be a Geico insurance run. Cubs may have enough already, but you never know when you're the visiting team. Fontenot looks at a strike. The next offering swung on and missed. Enrique Gonzalez, the San Diego pitcher. The very first batter of the game, Eric Patterson, reached on an error by the shortstop Khalil Green. And eventually that would lead to 4 unearned runs. And that really is the difference in the game.
Yeah, and a big hit, the 2-out triple by Ontario was big.
Fontenot swings and misses at some high heat. Strike 3. 2 down in the top of the ninth. And here's McGehee. Cub fans, the third annual Race to Wrigley 5K on Sunday, April 13th starts at Clark and Addison, continues through the Wrigleyville neighborhood, and finishes with a run down the Wrigley Field concourse and under the famous Cubs marquee. Each participant receives a performance race T-shirt. The Race to Wrigley is sponsored by Fields Auto Group, and proceeds benefit Chicago Cubs charities. To register, visit Cubs.com. Race to Wrigley 5K. McGehee pops it in the air foul off to the right, drifting out of play.
Well, I think McGehee, if he doesn't make this club, will go to AAA and do some catching, Pat, and then you're going to see him maybe next year be back in the big leagues. He's really improved with swinging that bat.
Here's the 1-2 to McGehee, just outside for a ball. McGehee's numbers last year in the minor leagues: in Double-A at Tennessee, 9 homers, 54 RBIs. Here's a bouncer into center field, a base hit. McGehee grounds one up the middle for a 2-out single. And here's Felix P.A. McGehee, Ronnie, has never hit more than 11 homers in a minor league season. He's kind of a big guy. That's surprising.
Yeah, he is.
His big RBI season was 72 in Double-A ball 3 seasons ago. Here's P.A. taking low and away, ball 1. McGehee listed at 6'1", 195. He leads at first. Gonzalez facing P.A. The slender left-handed batter hits a big chop up the middle. That's a base hit to center. McGehee to second and holding. P.A. collecting his second hit of the day. Cubs with a dozen base hits. And here's Micah Hoffpar.
Hoffpar will probably end up in AAA, but I would say anybody gets hurt, he'll be probably one of the first to be called up. That's just my opinion. I don't know if he's going to make this ball club or not, but I know one thing: he can swing the bat.
Today, Hoffpar 1 for 4, takes low and away, ball 1. 7-3 Cubs, top of the ninth. This date in baseball history brought to you by AT&T. The pitch lifted to left toward the line, pretty well hit. Headley over in the corner area makes the catch to end the inning. The Cubs collect a couple of singles but walk away empty-handed in the middle of the ninth. Cubs 7, San Diego 3.
This is Steve Cochran talking to Cubs manager.
for the Cubs, number 62, Bob Howry. Howry, the new pitcher.
Bobby Howry trying to nail it down. Officially, it's not a save situation, but the effect is the same. He's trying to close out the ball game and give the Cubs a victory on this Easter Sunday. Cubs 7, San Diego 3. The game totals 7-12-0 for the Cubs, 3-7-1 for San Diego. Howry this spring has already appeared in a total of 8 games. His only decision was a loss as the veteran prepares to face San Diego here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Here's the guy we talked about earlier, Calyx Crab. Calyx Crab steps in to bat for San Diego. And Crab will take a strike, and it's 0-1. Cubs looking for Cactus League victory number 11. The 0-1 is taken down low for a ball, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Ron Santo has left to beat some traffic and head on home on this Easter Sunday. Many of the fans have done the same. Still a good portion of the original audience of 12,035 have hung around. I'd say we have about 8,000 or 9,000 left. Strike 2 called to Crab, 1-2. Cubs take on Texas tomorrow. Tuesday, it's the Giants, and Wednesday, the opponents are the Angels. Thursday, we have the broadcast for you against Milwaukee. The pitch. Crab checks, takes low, no swing. 2-2 on Calyx Crab. This season, if a Cub gets the save, a generous donation will be made to the Jane Addams Hull House in their Saves for Charity program. Here's the 2-2 from Howry. Pulled foul by Crab, right side, and it's still 2-2. Just over a week of spring training remaining. Well, actually, right about a week. The Cubs will wrap up spring training play next Saturday afternoon in Las Vegas. Here's the 2-2. Loop toward left center, long run PA in the alley. It's taken on the fly by the left fielder Merton for out number 1. PA got a good jump, but the ball sliced back toward the left fielder, and Merton made the play as PA crisscrossed behind him. 1 away. One down in the bottom of the 9th. Cubs lead 7-3. And a new batter for San Diego facing Bobby Howry, and a fastball is on the outside corner, 0-1. I believe this is Arturo Lopez, number 81. Come on, Arturo. Apparently that is who it is. Heard that fan in the background. The 0-1 pitch swung on and fouled at the plate. And the count is 0-2. Cubs 7, San Diego 3, last of the 9th, 1 away. Bobby Howry checks, pumps and fires. Down low to Lopez. Next time the Cubs take on San Diego, it will be in the regular season. Cubs will be in San Diego in the first week in June for 3. The Padres come to Wrigley for 4 games in the month of May, starting on May 12. Outside for ball 2, 2-2. Crowd making very little noise at the moment. Just kind of a lazy day. Very warm, temperature in the 80s. Fastball, strike 3 call, 2 down. Howry blazing a bullseye over the outside edge. Striking out Arturo Lopez. 2 down. And the Padres have another youngster in the game. This is Brett Dowdy. Brett Dowdy is the new right-handed batter. 2 down, bottom of the 9th. Howry to Dowdy. Hopped up. This ought to do it. It's foul. It's playable for the catcher Blanco. Cubs win. We hope you have an Easter Sunday, a happy Easter Sunday. The Cubs did, beating San Diego by a score of 7-3. Back with the totals after this on the WGN Cubs Radio Network.
From the WGN newsroom.
The game totals here for the victorious Chicago Cubs, 7 runs on 12 hits and no errors. For the San Diego Padres, 3 runs on 7 hits and 1 error. The winning pitcher, Jason Marquis. The losing pitcher, Greg Maddox. The time of the game, 2 hours and 53 minutes in front of a Peoria Sports Complex Stadium crowd of 12,035. So the Cubs win it by a score of 7-3. Our next broadcast is Thursday afternoon. The Cubs take on the Milwaukee Brewers beginning at 2:05 Central Time. Our thanks once again to Ryan Oler, our producer engineer. This is Ryan's final work of the spring. We thank him for a job well done all through this Cactus League season. A reminder, please stay tuned for the postgame show. Jim Memolo is next. For Ron Santo, it is Pat Hughes saying thank you for listening. Goodbye from Peoria, Arizona. Once again, happy Easter Sunday. The final score, the Chicago Cubs 7 and the San Diego Padres 3. This has been a presentation of the WGN Cubs Radio Network.
This is the Cubs Central Postgame Show on News Talk 720 WGN, sponsored by Seattle Sutton's Healthy Eating and Marathon. From the Cubs postgame, Cubs come up with a winner today against the San Diego Padres in Peoria, Arizona, a 7-3 final. Jason Marquis goes 4 1/3, trying to win a spot in the Cubs rotation or somebody's rotation, depending on what you hear of the trade rumors. So he goes into the 5th inning on a pitch count, obviously, and taken out at that point by Lou Piniella. His one mistake, a home run ball to Adrian Gonzalez. Meantime, the Cubs stake him to a 6-run lead before a single Padre batter even gets to the plate, and Marquis himself helps that with a hit. Highlights coming up in a minute, but first, let's update you on the spring training baseball scoreboard and also take a look at the NCAA tournament for you. First of all, in Florida, in the Grapefruit League earlier today, Minnesota beat Baltimore 3-1. Cleveland a 3-2, or actually a 3-3 tie with Detroit in 10 innings. Gary Sheffield hit his 3rd of the year in that game. Hunter Pence hit his 4th of the spring, but Atlanta beat the Astros 4-2. Pittsburgh blanked the Yankees 8-0. Philadelphia pounded Toronto 15-7. Jason Donald had 2 homers for the Phillies in that one. Tampa Bay beat Cincinnati 10-9. Florida over Washington 4-2, and Rick Ankiel, picking up where he left off last season, hit his 4th spring homer. St. Louis all over the Mets 14-4. Now in the Cactus League, Milwaukee leads Arizona 5-4 in the 7th inning, but the worst news of the day for the Brewers is the news that starting pitcher Chris Capuano needs Tommy John elbow surgery, and that probably means the end of his 08 season before it begins. Kansas City defeats the White Sox today 6-5. Colorado beat the Dodgers 8-2. Texas a 5-2 winner over San Francisco, and the LA Angels of Anaheim win their game over Seattle by a score of 8-2. Some other news and notes out of baseball. John Smoltz, having shoulder problems, may or may not start the season on the disabled list. Yankees starting pitcher Andy Pettitte still experiencing back spasms. He may start the year on the DL. Curtis Granderson of the Tigers definitely begins the year on the disabled list. He broke his finger in a spring training game for the Tigers yesterday. And Phillies closer Brad Lidge may not open the season. He also may start the season on the disabled list with the effects of a knee injury he suffered in the first week of spring training. And that's what's going on in Major League Baseball today. Now in college basketball in the NCAA tournament in the South, it's Memphis trying to hold off Mississippi State 69-63 in the second half. Louisville pounding Oklahoma in the East 56-35 in the second half. And North Carolina all over Arkansas 68-43 in the East. Finals today, number 12 seed Villanova in the Midwest beats number 13 seed Siena 84-72. In the South region, Texas beats Miami 75-72. Tennessee holds off Butler 76-71 in the East. Davidson upsets second seed in the Midwest Georgetown 74-70. And Western Kentucky's going to the Sweet 16. They beat San Diego in the West region 72-63. And that's a look at the NCAA tournament and spring training baseball. We got highlights of your Cubs win over the San Diego Padres coming up on the Cubs Radio Network.